Welcome, everybody. Another edition of the Stretch Run. I'm Justin Sampson. Got my co-host here, Oldy. A great Friday. Awesome Gulfstream Park.
Yeah.
Very difficult sequence, but carryover about 75,000. Nobody hit pick 5. Nobody hit pick 6. Like, I don't know how often that happens. But great card. We're gonna we're starting a little bit early, squeeze this in, make sure that we can try to cover this, Oldy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good. Glad to be back here with you on another Friday afternoon. Excited to have seen that Gulfstream carry over yesterday because I thought it would be a nice spot for us in the show as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump in quickly because what do we have? We have 10 minutes. That's my ticket. I'm singling in leg 4 to Mr. Julian Leparoux for the first race back on the turf. You're singling in leg 2 to the 2 horse. Let's talk the first leg. Why don't you start and I will chime in after. Good to see everybody. Anthony, Scott, Mike, Chris, Oldy, what's your thoughts here on the first leg on the synthetic?
So this was the race that came off the turf. Most of these horses are more turf horses than synthetic horses. So one of the things normally I would like the 8 horse, but Peter Walder has been pretty terrible on the synthetic, so I didn't think you could use that horse as a single here. As well, the 3 is really sneaky. It was 20 to 1 morning line, had an E morning line angle I'm sure you loved at 3 to 2 on the morning line. This horse is a synthetic horse that's been running on synthetic, beaten similar to this group, and this group probably actually is worse than that 58 SOR because that was pre-scratch and a couple of the favorites scratched out of this race. The 2's a nice horse as well. There is a GSR drop there, but it is Mike Maker, and that horse is likely to be dangerous here as well. And the 1 has run both against better on synthetic and weaker on turf, or approximately the same on turf, been running relatively respectively on turf. Doesn't look like it's run as well on synthetic, but again, that was against better. I think the 1's got a very good chance here. Pretty dead on the board, I feel like, here at 7 to 2. I was kind of expecting it to be the favorite.
Yeah, all right, so we'll try to cruise through this. I'm just 138 here. I mean, I think everybody's heard me. I don't like people being on the front end on the synthetic, so I just consistently stay with that. You'll see this throughout the ticket. On tossing the 2, tossing the 9, I agree with all your comments on the 1, 3, and 8. So you're 1, 2, 3, 8. I tossed the 2. Let's go to the next leg. I'm spread to all here. I think you could go slimmer here. I'm hoping to catch a little bit of a price because I don't trust the 9 on the front end here. And because of that pace, I think that turfs or these synthetic sprints can be difficult. But why don't you tell me your thoughts here on leg 2?
Yeah, again, the GSRs all kind of stink here. They're all in the 50s. I'm not sure any of these horses really want to be running on the surface. I watched the 4 races of the 9. The 9 runs the same race every time, gets to about mid-stretch and just stops. Last time out, had no other speed in the race, went 22 and change, turned for home, looked like he was gone, stopped and got caught. That's what I expect that horse will do here. I have no interest in it here. I have a note on the 8 as well saying hanger. And so I want nothing to do with the 8 here. Also, GSR seems to indicate the 8 wants to be going 2 turns on the synthetic, not sprinting. I didn't really think much of the 6. The 10 is a little interesting. I think if somebody's going to benefit from a pace duel here, it's going to be the 10, not the 8, or from a quick pace here. But I landed on the 2. The 2's lightly raced mostly against better than this. This is first time on synthetic. Great connections in Barboza and Paco. I watched the last race in the slop, and it's not nearly as bad as it looks here. Actually turned from home to home and got the lead and ran pretty well. I just think it didn't particularly like the slop. Going 7 furlongs, I think 5.5 furlongs is more right up this horse's alley, and I think this is a horse that's going to have first shot when the 9 stops.
Yeah, I could see it. I really, I mean, I could see it in top win percent. I do think you could slim here. I think you'd have to use the 9. I actually really like the 1 and 3, which both scratched out, which I was really bummed about. Else, I would have. I mean, it messed with my method of how I saw the race. It really did. I do think though, like on my ticket, if you want to play something smaller, I think you can go slimmer here. I think that the 2 for sure is a use, and the 9. I don't know. The 4 is coming off a big layoff, dropping in GSR. The 5 scratched. The 6 is EquinEdge long shot, and you get a morning line angle, and it's first time synthetic, but big GSR drop. So I think you could go slimmer. I'm with you on the 8 was a hanger. I had the same note there. So let's we have about 5 minutes. I know we're cruising through here. Sorry, everybody. So I in the next leg was 1, 2, 3, 5. You're 1, 2, 4, 7. Who did you? I thought that the 2 potentially could be a single here. But I decided to single in the next leg just because I'm playing, a little bit of a kind of a ticket to try to pay. But what were your thoughts here on the 2 as, being tough? And then I see it went 4 deep.
Yeah, so I don't think the 2's that going to be that tough here. I think the 2 is a need the lead type. I think the 6 is a need the lead type. I think the 4 most likely needs the lead. I think there's a lot of speed here. And I think the 7 at a big price could benefit here. I think the 1, I would like the 1 a lot here as well. But and I did not like the 5. I know you did. I just thought the 5, the 5 hasn't run since June 1st or July 1st, I'm sorry. And that was against slightly weaker. I don't know that the 5 wants to sprint either. I think he wants to go 2 turns or wants at least a mile. That was my thought on why I didn't use the Scotty long shot there.
Yeah.
Or the long shot.
Yeah. You on the 5, sorry, I got to flip to the next leg here. I mean, I'm with you on the 1. The 1's off the claim. The horse is inconsistent, but going to be coming off the pace, which to your point, there's a lot of speed here. That's where I actually do think that Reyes for Safi on the 2 potentially could just go gate to wire. I don't like the 6 though, just as you said, as potential probably needs the lead. I just needs lead to win. I mean, you and I are thinking the same thing.
Yep.
I completely tossed the horse. I get it's the top win and top EquinEdge pick. I think it's going to be very hard for that horse to get the lead. Not
only that, if you look at that horse, it stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the 7. I do agree with you. I was 1, 2, 3, 5 here. The 5, I do like the morning line angle. So here was my thoughts on the 5, just to talk about this. So this horse run back to back, to your point, versus in a 62 and a 56. So this same exact level back then, and then just consistently was in versus these high to mid 60s. I think the horse has not been running. I'm just taking a complete flyer here as the EquinEdge long shot because of that. And when I looked at this horse specifically, it either doesn't run or it runs. In being the long shot, I would have never added this horse if it wasn't for that. And that was my play here. Is this horse going to show up today? The morning line liked it. And so just a big sneaky play as a price to try to win. So that was my thought there. We are about 2 minutes.
Let's
1
get to
minute.
your single real fast then.
Yeah. So and I'm going to give part of this ticket away, but we can do that after. So my single, this is purely a system play. I will tell you, I do this occasionally. This is a pure win percent. It's Julian Leperoux. Nathan, good to see you, buddy. I like, it's the EquinEdge long shot. The morning line likes this horse. The win percent likes this horse. And I don't love some of these horses in this race. I think the post is going to be insanely tough out here for the 12. The 11 is going to show speed. I do think Frappet has a shot, but this somewhat lightly raced allowance optional claim has been running in this same kind of, in the 60s. One last out, should be able to, as long as Julian can break here and find a spot and not get shuffled, which I think is my only concern. I think he can work out a trip here, and I think there's huge potential for this first race on the turf for this one horse. But it to me, a lot of it is the horse fits, and the system liked it so much that I just immediately go to that as, it's top GSR. I think a lot of things here. So that was why I singled. But you went, I know 4-5 deep. You also added the 4, 5, 11, and 12, which I think makes sense. Anything you want to talk about here for any of those?
Yeah, so the 5 would probably be my top pick here. The 5 or the 12. The 12 top SOR is most likely the speed of the speed here, and the outside post shouldn't be a factor because there's a good chance that horse is going to clear here. I liked the one. I didn't love the one here. I have some concerns about the level of competition, the fact that we're going a furlong shorter here, and GSR seems to indicate, wants longer.
Yeah. I see it. I get it. I mean, definitely 9, 10, 8.5.
I think the 5, the 5's a multiple non-graded stakes winner. You have to dig in there because the SOR did not like a lot of those non-graded stakes at some at sprint, some at a mile and a 16th at a mile. So this horse can sprint, this horse can run routes, and is very tactical, and I think could sit a perfect trip here.
Yeah. Ron, good to see you. Brad, Chris, Rock and Ray, everybody. We are not even at the gate, so that's good. I'm and you, I think, are both pretty spread here. Yeah. My only comment, which I said in race 1, will be the same here. I am completely tossing these first 2 horses that I think are going to be on the lead with Sonny Leone and Edwin Gonzalez. Sticking to my theme of I don't want horses on the pace here. I think that you can get a price in this race. I have a bunch of price horses here other than the 9 I know is the morning line favorite, but that's my my opinion here. I really just don't like these horses that are on the front end on the synthetic. But tell me a little bit of how you landed here. You're obviously spread as well.
Yeah, so I tossed the 3, like you said, the horse that's most likely going to be on the lead. But I thought the 2 has a legit chance to sit right off that and go by. Been really close to doing that multiple times on the synthetic here. This just might be the weak enough and right group for him to do that. I also like the 4, who's a second-time starter, is getting a bump in GSR, seems to want to route, good connections. I think that horse at 20-1 morning line could really give you a price.
They're off, FYI. Okay. So
wide. Passion Plus is at the rail. In between horses goes Elusive Molly. Up to the outside, Lucky Peridot. And shuffling to the last spot is Nana Fanny. She's about 4 lengths behind Basilia, who is in front. The opening quarter, 25 and 4. And Basilia and Sunny Leone make the fractions. They lead by half a length. Looking Like a Queen is second. Passion Plus is parked at the rail third. In between horses, Elusive Molly is now fourth from Lucky Peridot, who races from fifth now. And the trailer is Nana Fanny. Trying to pick it up here to the half-mile point. The leader is still Basilia. She's her ears up in front by half a length. Turning up the pressure a bit now is Looking Like a Queen, while second. The half was 50 and 4. From third, Passion Plus, together with Elusive Molly. Improving a bit is Nana Fanny, and Lucky Peridot tries to motivate from the back of the field. Paco launches her 3 wide, and she's on the go as they round the far turn. Basilia nursing a neck advantage, Looking Like a Queen, 4 wide. Lucky Peridot, 3 wide, Elusive Molly. Nana Fanny's going to have to come around him. Passion Plus is being outkicked at this stage through 3 quarters. In 1:14 and 2, they turn for home. On the outside, it's Lucky Peridot tries to get the lead. From between horses, Looking Like a Queen. Basilia next. Nana Fanny over the top. 1/8 of a mile to go. Now Lucky Peridot begins to get away. She's now in front by 3, and she has no dangers. Paco looking at the Jumbotron. He knows he hasn't won. It's Lucky Peridot in front by 3.5. Good battle here for...
Well, we get how was the sound? I know everybody, Oldy and I were doing some technical kind of jumping through hoops this morning, but Oldy, was the race okay? The sound okay?
Yeah, the sound was great. And
Okay,
the 8 might have been the single for the sequence, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we and I think we have oh good. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Scott. We were like, I have to like jump back. I haven't totally figured it out, but the noise cancellation, definitely turning that off makes it so you can hear it. The problem is that Oldie and I can't talk during the race, which is probably fine. You don't need to hear us. But I do have to jump between that screen a little bit. But we're still trying to figure it out. I don't know what happened with something's up on trying to stream and the sound, and maybe it's my MacBook. I don't know. But to your point, 8 advances. We both get through, which is good. Your single is next. I want to give that ticket away though, Oldie. Can we do that real quick?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So let me load that tweet up. I can wait a minute. If anybody wants to jump to my Twitter, all you got to do is retweet. Make sure you're following Oldie and I. I'll give everybody a minute here if you want to jump over there. I'm giving 10% away to 3 people. So you got to retweet that tweet, trying to share the show, make sure it gets put out there. And then I'm going to give, I guess, 30% away of this pick 5, Oldie. So we'll see what happens. Big carryover, right? I didn't see what the final pool there. What was the final pool?
I didn't see it either.
Did anybody in the chat see what the final pool was? All right, we got 3 people. I mean, the carryover was 76 grand, man. You were sending me notes yesterday. I couldn't believe that nobody hit the pick 5 or pick 6.
Yeah, it's something you don't see happen that often at Gulfstream.
All right, 3 peeps. Let's see it here. Well, it did this last time. Load this again. 3 people.
Chris says pool was $500,000.
Wow, that's pretty good. I love it for in Friday. I mean, that's obviously. All right.
I think it's 18% takeout too, which is pretty nice.
Anthony
won again.
Anthony Hunter and Andy again. You're right. I totally agree. All right. Let me check one thing.
I did verify that scratches are in at Golden Gate now.
Okay. Do we want to do, I know we were planning to do Golden Gate next, Oldy. You want to do that, or you want to flip that in Del Mar?
Well, Del Mar goes off 15 minutes before Golden Gate, so maybe
Yeah.
Del Mar makes more sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let me why don't you let me respond to this tweet real quick? You want to chat with our chat for a minute and I can get this tweet out?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. So, has anybody looked at the Del Mar closing day pick 6 yet in the chat? Kenny, Chris, Brad, Cindy, anybody looked at it yet? And Cindy, what are you playing at Woodbine today? We need to know your ticket. And yes, please hit the like button. So Sunday is closing day at Del Mar. There's a couple stakes during that sequence. Going to be something interesting to look at and play during football on Sunday. Sunday is a long way away. Yes, it is, Chris.
It is almost the weekend though, right?
It's the stretch run.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, very good, Oldy. That was good. It's snowing here. It's been snowing here in Seattle for like the last couple of days. It's pretty wild.
We're cold here, but no snow.
Yeah, it's chilly here too. We get we definitely get more snow here than we used to. Every year we get a good amount of snow, but some areas got like 6, 8, 12 inches. We just got a couple inches where I'm at.
Yeah, no, we had a couple inches a few weeks ago. It's all melted. I'd be happy if we don't have any for the entire month of December. That would be nice.
And I think I saw Nate. So I feel when I did that that Twitter picker, it like failed the first time, it did that again. Yeah. But I did see Nate's name. So I'm gonna give Nate 10% too. So I'm actually gonna give 40% away. I felt bad because I saw his name and I was pumped, but I was hoping it would show up again, but then it didn't. So Nate, if you're listening, I'm also giving you 10%. So
Brad, I don't want the Bears to win. I don't want them to blow. That they need players, and beating Green Bay would defeat the purpose of all the tanking they've done this season by trading away aging talent. So I'd rather have the 3rd pick in the draft than possibly going as high as the 12th pick in the draft because of the strength of schedule. They lose a lot of the tiebreakers.
All right, I'm almost done.
And so, Nate, are you working this weekend? I saw what's a weekend from you. So, and we did get Cindy's Woodbine ticket there for anybody that knows that Cindy's the master of Woodbine and many other places, but definitely Woodbine. It is the Packers, but the Packers are only 1 game ahead of us. So winning would actually move the Packers ahead of us for a draft pick. Fields is not overrated. Saturday night.
Fields, he was playing really well. Is he going to play though this weekend?
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing 1 week off of a dislocated non-throwing shoulder. I prefer, or 2 weeks off. I'd prefer that he would have sat for another couple of weeks, but he's supposedly so competitive that they just can't keep him off the field.
I love it.
But there's just nothing around him, and their offensive line is possibly the worst offensive line in football. And the only thing worse than their offensive line is their defensive line, who's had 1 sack in 4 games. It's just
All right, we're gonna talk Del Mar.
all right.
Okay, I'm back. Nate, yes, I wanted Nate you to get 10%. So I get 40% out of the way. I hope it hits. That pick 4 ticket hit last week for each person. I got about $50. But hey, like $50 is $50. I'm hoping we can hit something bigger. But so that's your ticket, Oldy. You're singled in leg 2. I handicapped all of this. I just haven't put in my ticket yet. So I'm gonna do that on the fly as we do this. Why don't you go through talk me first leg here? I see it's a bunch of first time starters. The 2 horse, a big win percent, but anything that you saw here on race 1 at Del Mar?
So the obvious thing that you have to start with, the top Scotty pick or toppy pick as well, and currently getting bet pretty hard, is the 4, who's the Baffert horse here.
Woody.
Woody. The works are not all that Baffert like. The GSR is not great. The win percentage is not as high as I thought as you would think it would be. So, I looked at this as, well, I don't want to be out leg 1, so I'm not going to dump this horse, but I also don't think this horse is a single here. I thought the 2, who's the second choice and first in win percentage, has a legit shot here. Is run well at 6 furlongs. The other thing I noticed here is there's a lot of there's 3 horses around 70, between 60 and 70 basically in pace here. So there's a lot of pace, and I like the works on the 1 and it's D'Amato getting Pratt aboard. So I thought that's one that we have to watch closely. That's a 34. That's basically the same win percentage as Baffert and Hernandez. So you have to watch out there. And then on the 5 has 2 monster bullet works. The last two works by Motown. 11% tells me that the system thinks this horse could be ready to go. Currently at a big price too, so I couldn't leave this horse as the long shot off.
Yeah, you were 1, 2, 4, 5. That's actually the way you can see I cut the 3 and 6. I mean, it's 2-year-olds. I guess you could, do the big win percent on the 2. You could try to go slim here. I'll put my ticket together on the fly, and then at the end, we'll just stick with your ticket here, Oldie, and then at the end, I'll kind of share my separate ticket. But I don't remember if I agreed with the single leg 2, so we'll see here in a second. But Pratt, that's a big sample too for Phil D'Amato. I mean, almost 60 races at 34%. This is for sure. I mean, if you really don't like the 4, I think it'd be hard to cut here. But if you have an opinion here and you don't really like it, I mean, maybe don't waste money is one comment I would have. But and I think to your point, I mean, the 5 is 11%, gets the apprentice, nice bullet works here. I don't know this. I've seen a lot of new trainers. You cold singled the 5, Cindy. I love it. I mean,
yeah.
Why not? I mean, especially if you're, you don't want to play a big ticket and, you're okay to, lose whatever that ticket price is if you don't love this race and get horses elsewhere. I love doing that too, so I get it. I will probably play the same first leg as you, Oldie. Let's jump to leg 2. You singled the 5. Tell me a little bit about your single here.
Yeah, so this is not a great field. Most of these horses were, ran. So you have, for instance, the 7 is still a maiden. The 3 broke its maiden and then didn't run a lick. The 5 broke its maiden, didn't run a lick. The 2 broke its maiden, then didn't run a lick. and also had a huge GSR drop. Doesn't really want turf. It looks like it wants synthetic. The 5 broke the maiden. Hasn't run back that well, but did run pretty decently the last time out against much better. So it's been running since it broke its maiden against between the 62 and 66 range in SOR. And the last 2 turf efforts, the pace seems to set up too where this horse is going to get a perfect trip. You have a bunch of horses all clustered who I think need the lead between the 2, 6, 3, and 7. The 5's going to sit right behind that and potentially get a perfect trip. The other horse that I would consider here would be the 1. My issue with the 1, great connections, by the way, and watch out for Pratt and Miller normally, but this horse barely beat a 40 SOR group, doesn't break well, and didn't run the one time he was on turf. And so I'm just looking at this as that this is either the 5 or, and it's either a 5 or all here.
Yeah,
I went 5.
I struggled with this race. But I think your comments, I thought I think the 4 was the 4 was also still, I was like, this is just kind of weird that the 7 dropped in here, still a maiden, is the pace of the race. And I'm like, okay, like you've been running in these 50s and then 40s, and where Spoli gets on, I don't know what Ryan Hansen, I don't know him well, but the amount I've been playing Del Mar this meeting has not been a ton, but we've been handicapping it, and I just have not been impressed.
Yeah.
But maybe maybe something will happen here with the 7. I probably won't single the 5, but let's come back to this race. You were 2-6-8 here, and another 2-year-old. I think somebody quoted a minute ago, all 2-year-old races here in the first 3 races. Another 2-year-old race here on the dirt. Talk to us about race 3.
So race 3, the 2 I believe is a Doug O'Neill horse that's moving to his assistant trainer. Good morning line angle there. Second pick, first win percentage. Also top GSR, tied for top SOR, top pace. So the 2 might be a single there. Just there's a bunch of clustered pace numbers there as well. The 6 is Miller and Pratt, shortening up, probably prefers to sprint, was on the grass, that they're trying a bunch of things here. But again, it's a 2-year-old, so it may just be a matter of figuring that out. And then the 8 was the other one I used. And I should say the 6 is your top win percentage, no, second win percentage, and your top E pick there. Sorry, I couldn't read my own notes. And then the 8 I thought was super sneaky here, on huge drop here from a 54 SOR to 38, and might just be the drop that it needed. Didn't run that poorly 2 back at Los Al either, and if it runs that race, probably good enough to win here.
Yeah, you also get Alcigor, the apprentice. I know we've talked about him a bit on the show. Scotty talked a bit about him also on his EquinEdge live shows, I think a couple weeks ago. This race I think is tough. I mean, there's a lot of, you do have, I think to your point, the 8's dropping, the 2 is a big drop. You have Vasquez for the assistant trainer for O'Neill, as you mentioned. The 5 is the EquinEdge long shot. Could this horse improve off the drop? Of course. So you have a lot of drops occurring here. I thought that made this race really tough, in my opinion. So we'll see. Your spread in leg 4. I actually ended up really liking the 4 horse with Pratt. I thought the 6 was actually a little bit interesting with Mike Smith too. I know that the 5 is a big win percent. But what were your thoughts here on spreading?
So my thoughts on spreading here, you don't have a clustered Scotty picks or E picks and win percentage. They're kind of all over the place. You have the 5 who's the second and then the top. But then instead of the 1, which is your top EE pick, the 4 is your second win percentage. The 3 is your third win percentage. I probably should have just dropped the 1 here because I don't like the GSR all that much. But the GSR is not great on the 5 either. The 3 is a 70 GSR. I think probably wants to sprint on the turf. The 6 you mentioned I did not like because of the 32 GSR there with Mike Smith. But it was one of those situations where it was all over the place in terms of the different algorithms picking different horses. So that to me is usually a sign to spread.
Yeah, I'm with you. Unless I struggle a little bit here, but to your point, I don't like the 1. It's 0 for 12. Why this horse is the top EquinEdge pick, I have no idea, but I guess probably just because it has experience here.
Well, and maybe that 6 furlong sprint 2 back.
Yeah, I mean it for sure. I mean 44 SOR there fits here. This horse just like doesn't want to win though, and is now on the rail, and does not have a ton of speed here. Like I would struggle with the 1. The 2 ended up scratching. I thought was somewhat interesting, but scratched. To your point, the 3 was the top GSR. Looks to have some pace. Has some amount of experience. This is a state bred maiden special, which I thought, okay, that's a little bit interesting here. But this horse had been racing in state bred maiden specials as a I guess it's 3 and up. So as a 3-year-old, and then went on the shelf for a bit. The work is, I would just say, looks okay. I mean, I struggled a little bit here. I do think, to your point, this horse is bred well for Nick Alexander. It looks like a homebred. I don't know. I just didn't love. I could see the 3 winning though. On the 4, I thought was interesting. First time starter. I actually liked the works here. And Pratt gets on for Steve Knapp, and it has not rode though, which I thought was a little bit interesting. The morning line didn't like, but it was 22%, which I found intriguing that the system liked this horse from a win percent perspective. I like when win percents can really like stand out versus a field, similar to like the Gulfstream ticket that I played, to be able to find those angles. A little bit of the same here, because I don't like the 1. I didn't love the 3, although I get it. So I thought the 4 was really interesting here. The 5 is the top win, right? And this horse ran as the favorite and ran okay. When you look at GSR, you talked about this, Oldy. When this horse says it wants to sprint, for whatever reason, the 5 furlong number is not great, where the 4.5 and 5.5 are. So is that just, is that because there's a low sample? I don't know, but I thought the 5 was interesting, but I may single here when I kind of finalize my ticket, but I didn't love a lot of these horses. So I'm with you. And to your point, GSR is very low on the 6. I mean, this horse is a 52 on the turf, but it's like way down for these, 5.5 turf sprints. So, all right. We got
3 minutes of post right now at Gulfstream.
Okay. Let's cool. They are out on the track. So last leg, you were all but 2. I'm not surprised here because I thought that this was a tough race. I would agree with you on all of your horses that you have. So anything you want to add here?
I think if you forced me to pick one horse here, it probably would be Pratt on the lead. I think he's really dangerous here. on a horse that has speed in a race without a ton of other speed here. And I think this horse needs the lead. So if he doesn't get it, this horse is probably going to finish second or third, judging by its pattern. The other one that's super interesting, but hasn't run well at higher levels is the 2. So this drop might just be perfect for the 2. The 2's best races though have been on grass, and this is on dirt. So there's a little projection there, but GSR at 70 is great still here. So I think the 2 and 4 are your most logical winners, if that makes sense. And then I like the 5 a lot as my long shot there. It's 4-1, not much of a long shot.
Yeah, I mean the 5 is run well on dirt was my note. Not a ton of dirt starts. It's definitely spent all its time on turf as of lately. Kind of fourth, was on a year layoff and fourth in the form cycle, and then like gets over to dirt. So I'm with you there. I thought it was interesting. I thought this was a bit of a tough race. The 3 has a big drop in win percent, cuts it in half.
Yeah.
Back here, did win, but then not, I don't love seeing this, has been racing, and was a 62 here, got second, close to lead, and then now hasn't been able, a bit tougher posts and much bigger fields here. But, that was a little bit of concern on the 3. As I kind of look at this, is I finish I'll put a ticket together here, probably right after we'll watch this Gulfstream race. You're single to the 2 at Gulfstream, and then I'm all the 9 obviously was taking a lot of money. I think this could be, the 2 is dropping first time dirt going 2 turns, 1 here on the turf in a 68, and then, has been racing, okay, but in small fields. But to your point, I think it's a drop for Rose Dawson for JJ. So this could be 2-4 that I look at this a little bit, but the 6 is going to come off the pace. So if for some reason the 4 doesn't get the lead, or there's a little bit of a pace here, I think the 6 though is potentially a little bit interesting. I mean, this Trouville was, a second here in a 7-horse field and a 60, at Del Mar, and you look, and this horse has been racing well for Leonard Powell. So a little bit interesting. I thought the 6 was. All right, we're going to hop over to Gulfstream. I'm going to fix my sound now so we can actually watch the race with sound. That's on. Oldy, am I echoing?
I bet I am now.
Okay.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time. Lining up and moving in for race number 6, starting leg of that late pick 4. 8-5 currently on number 9, Royal Mahogany. Speedy Son of Speightster under jockey Chantel Sutherland. 2-1 second choice is number 2, Grand Valley, as Paco Lopez tries to get his 3rd riding success of the day. As you can see, the rider is off of number 7, On Jet Air. That late pick 4 pool on its way to $100,000. Still a couple horses to move in line, giving you added wagering time. They've got On Jet Air locked away. No Man Left Behind will be next. Then Royal Mahogany and Bad Bad Bobby. Bad Bobby and jockey Kevin Krieger to take the outside gate. All set for the late pick 4. And they're off. From the center on Jet Air, one of the first into stride. Royal Mahogany is on the go, and Grand Valley won't be far away. These three speed 4 ahead of Bad Bobby, who's on the far outside. Down at the rail, Dr. Ron with Watch the Music and No Man Left Behind at the back of the field. Royal Mahogany is on the go. Royal Mahogany to the far turn has now left a 3-length margin between himself and Grand Valley from second. Dr. Ron is third, and between horses, that's No Man Left Behind. On Jet Air is next, followed out wide by Bad Bobby, and now the trailer is Watch the Music. 22-2 for the opening quarter speed as they race past the 5/16. It's Royal Mahogany committed for home on a 2.5-length lead. Second is Grand Valley. Third is Dr. Ron. Bad Bobby negotiating some traffic and ducks to the inside with less than a quarter of a mile to go. Royal Mahogany trying to finish it up. He has 2.5 lengths to hold and 1/8 of a mile to go. Grand Valley is second. Bad Bobby is now third. Now there's a 16th to run. Royal Mahogany shortening up from second. Grand Valley. Bad Bobby closing good ground. Royal Mahogany saved by the wire. Royal Mahogany.
Well,
The one time that horse doesn't stop in time.
yeah, I mean that horse got loose, which I thought might happen. Like,
It happens in all of its races, and when it turned for home, I thought the 2 was going to get there, but sorry, guys.
yeah, I wasted and all. The 10 obviously was coming there. I want to save my ticket just so we can follow along here real quick. So give me 1 second. Okay. And then what was the 10? Yeah, 10 took a lot of money there coming late, but nobody else really ran on. To your point, the 2 was right there. Just
Hey, can we get rid of the spam that's in there? I think it's from Twitch.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can. I don't know how to. It may.
Yeah. No worries.
It's interesting. I can put people on YouTube, Oldy, but I cannot put people on Twitch. Like everybody else I can. Huh. All right. All right, let's get back to Del Mar real quick, and then.
Yeah, I want to enter my ticket too.
Yeah, so there's this. Let me duplicate that. That's live. Oldy, sorry, 2 was there, couldn't get up. 2.9 hung on. That's your Del Mar. Let me pull up my Del Mar real quick.
Yeah, I haven't heard yours yet.
I didn't love this. So I'm just gonna single. I don't love this race, but I think the 4. I just don't love the 5 here without spreading. 2, 5, 6, 8. We need the 3. 3's first time starter. 7%. Maldonado. I don't really want to play that big. I didn't love this sequence. All right. I think that's mine. I'm singling Pratt on this first time starter. I think that this horse, my
Okay.
comment is, I think that this horse I love the work pattern and it's been very consistent. The other thing, the only thing I think is interesting, this horse just got its gate work. So it just got cleared from the gate was my only concern probably. But I looked past it. I mean, I love the every kind of 7 days, 6 days of work. I think it's working well. I do not. This is, I think, a very weak field. And, you have Pratt riding, I think from a sprinting standpoint, the GSR is not awful, but it's a bit risky. I just don't love anywhere else really to single. That's what I'd play. So we'll come back to this. We have more time to post. So that's mine. Let me duplicate this real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the share out.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. That's your ticket, Oldy, for Del Mar. Go ahead. That's Oldy's ticket. He's singling the 5 in leg 2, top of my game. The 4 scratched there. I think the pace here is going to be hot. I'm actually going to, I didn't look at this leg. 6, 7 still maiden. I don't love that. The 2, bred for synthetic. That's mine. So I'm singling a first time starter with Mr. Pratt. So, all right.
And I can see it.
Say again. Oh, yeah. I mean, I just don't really love anything here. I mean, I think to Cindy's point, she singled, right? It's Zell in the first race. I mean, 11%, I could see it. So, take a little bit of risk. I'm doing something similar. I have no idea about any of these first time starters. Here in leg 4, I just don't love any of the look of these horses that have raced already. The 3 and 5 maybe, but outside that, I struggled a little bit of maybe playing the 5, but I'm not going to go too deep. I just don't love press on here. I mean, this race was fine. I mean, a 9 horse field was the favorite, but that was 6 months ago, right? And why it take so long to get back? I think you could ask the same question. Why did it take this long for this horse to get to the races?
Yep.
But I think I do love that Pratt's aboard here. So we'll see.
Well, and it's not like it's a 5-year-old first time starter either.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. All right. So we still got 45 minutes till Del Mar starts. Let's Oldy. We were gonna talk Golden Gate first, and then we were gonna talk Del Mar. We can do one of two things. We can. Do you want to talk Aqueduct now, or do you want to talk Golden Gate now? You tell me.
Let's talk Aqueduct now.
Okay, so we're not Aqueduct today, but we're gonna tomorrow. Big day at Aqueduct, lots of stakes racing. The Cigar Mile will be on tap. That's going to be our stakes coverage for this weekend. We have not covered Oldy. I don't think Naira at this point for any of our stakes coverage or really much at all. So I know we can't show it, but from the standpoint of, I need the system to flip for me.
That's race 6. Yeah.
Some graded stakes coverage. Do you want to talk through this isn't flipping, so give me 1 second.
I can talk through the Moselle stakes. if I'm pronouncing that right, if you want.
Yeah, it's not, oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. I finally got it to you. All right, so we have, how much time we got? We got 15 minutes. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, big day at Aqueduct, starts off with a couple 2-year-old races. The first one being race 6, 2-year-old fillies in the, is it Demoiselle? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
So this race says Julia Shining here. I remember watching her race, but let me know your thoughts, Oldy. Here, I think you either have to single this horse or this race is wide open. She did not start well at this race at Keeneland and still won. What are your thoughts on her?
So let me ask you, Justin, do you know why she's 3 to 5 here?
I mean, is she, if I remember correctly, isn't she a half to Malathat?
No, she's a full sister to Malathat.
Okay. Yeah. So a full sister. Yeah. So
Yeah.
That would be my guess of why.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I mean, she's bred just like a queen, man. I mean, she is like bred, like you don't see these high of numbers very often, right? I mean, look at that. We occasionally see 99s. Curlin, Dreaming of Julia. And she was hyped up, right? I can't remember. Was this Breeders' Cup? Was this Breeders' Cup weekend? I don't totally remember. I bet. I don't remember if I singled
No,
her.
it was before Breeders' Cup, like 3 or 4 weeks before Breeders' Cup.
Oh yeah, because this was back in October. So she like completely blew the break. I mean, it was awful. And then Sayas just came around and she was gone. So I mean, it was fairly impressive. I don't know how great of a field that came back. But I mean, it was a 52 SOR. So, I mean, being a full sister to Mount, that, I mean, I guess she's going to be 3 to 5. But in your mind, the system doesn't really love her. But I mean, I think you could take that with a grain of salt. I mean, are you singling here in a horizontal bet, or are you spreading?
I'm spreading here because I like another horse as a single, but I'll tell you, I hate the top win percentage here, which is the 5, who's a maiden, who I looked up the mare. There's nothing really special about the mare here. There's no reason that this horse should be 31%.
This is wild. I mean, 31% raced twice. I mean, big fields, raced nicely. I mean, Graham Motion, obviously, and Johnny V rides again, thinks a lot of Affirmative Lady. Is an Arrowgate, right? But this is pretty wild. I mean, 31% for a maiden in a grade 2 stakes race.
Yeah, no, I don't like the horse at all. That's the horse I'm for sure tossing here, and I can go through the rest of this here, but I will say that I'm close to. I'm a little concerned about the break here. I like the 1 a little bit. I think the 1 could possibly steal this on the front end, but most likely is more of an exotic play. Here, the 4, there's a huge price on it. There's a ran west, didn't run well last time out at this SOR, but I think wants the at a distance. And then the 6 I thought was really interesting here, which is the other Pletcher horse. We always talk about the other Baffert. The other Pletcher here is a horse I'm really interested in. Has a win over a 70 SOR. GSR seems to indicate that it wants the distance, is the E long shot. So, that's a horse I'm using as well. And then the other ones is the 2.
Yeah, second EquinEdge pit,
Yeah.
Royal Spa.
So second time, just like Julia Shining, second time starter. And Julia Shining probably wins this race, but there's enough here that if she blows the break again, she's not just going to be able to sweep around. And, with the blown brake and no gate works, I just couldn't single here.
Yeah, I am not singling. I think I actually put together.
Yeah, I have a pick 5 also.
Yeah, I don't remember if I ever finalized here, but maybe I will. I probably didn't play. I don't think I played that much. But I'm with you. I think that I think she might be beatable. I don't know. I mean, she could be pretty special, but I mean, it was an impressive win when she just completely blew the brake. Like you don't see, you got to be heads and way above the other horses to be able to do that. She's bred to go long, obviously. Should run really well. I don't but I was spread here. I actually singled the 2 in the next leg when I looked through the sequence, if I remember.
So did I.
Yeah, so let's jump there. I mean, so I think that this is a tough Phillies race unless you just love Julia Shining. Oh, is the rain, Scott? That's good to know. I didn't handicap for the wet, but appreciate you mentioning that. But I think this will be a great race. I really do. Ron, to your point, why is this 31%? I don't know, but as an EquinEdge user, like if you like it, maybe you don't have to spread very much. Like if you can find another angle there and you don't love Julia Shining, maybe you could go 3-5. I don't know. So let's jump to before Gulfstream's next race, Oldy. Let's talk about tomorrow as well at Aqueduct, race 7. This is just for straight 2-year-olds, but the Remsen Stakes, what were your thoughts here on, is it Tuskegee Airmen?
Tuskegee Airmen.
Tuskegee Airmen. I thought this horse just looked much the best versus this field. To me, I thought this was a little bit of a weak grade 2 versus the competition, but you mentioned you also singled. What were your thoughts here?
Yeah, and I'll say the Remsen usually is a pretty weak grade 2 race. So I'm not surprised. So top EE pick, top win percentage, top SOR, top EE morning line, and I have no likely single. So has already won at a mile. GSR seems to indicate it should be fine at 9 furlongs. Tactical, can sit right off, can sit back, depending on the pace scenario. And you're right, there isn't much here. Here's my note on the 4, the E second pick. E second pick, not second win percentage. Second E morning line needs the lead speed horse in a race with other similar speed. GSR drop of 8 points for the added distance, maybe a 1-turn sprinter.
Yeah, it's funny. I said the same thing. I said unsure about 2 turns. I do agree with you when you look at GSR plus. Not really sure what's going to happen here. And then when you look at his races, has been this a 1-turn mile right at Aqueduct, and you get that GSR drop. It could be tough for this horse to end up going 2 turns with that speed. It was my thought process. That's where I thought that this race really would set up for the 2, to be honest, and is going to get a really nice pace. And, the Tuskegee Airmen looks to have won. I didn't watch the video on these. I probably will if I play tomorrow, but if it's sloppy, I don't know if I will. But, looks to have won with ease versus these fields. And not that these were probably insanely tough fields, but did already win a stakes race. So in this Rocky Run race, some of these other horses raced there, and he made this look easy. So
the other horse here that interests me a little bit is the 7, who was a last out maiden winner, stepping up in class, second win, but not top EE pick. And the GSR just seems to support the added distance, and it's 18% to win.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that, the win percent increases, Ortiz continues to ride for Danny Gargan. So, could surprise, to your point, both going to be coming off the pace. So interesting race. let's we have how much time we got till Gulfstream? 6 minutes?
7.
Oh, they're still in the paddock.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump to the next race then. Might as well just we
could always throw in a impromptu Del Mar pick 6 on Sunday or something like that.
Okay, towards the end.
Yeah.
I have not looked, but is it closing day at Del Mar on Sunday?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Let's I thought the 8th race though. So tomorrow at Aqueduct, race 8. It's a grade 3. So we talked about a couple 2-year-old graded 6. This is the grade 3 Go for Wand Stakes. I thought that this was a bit of a tough race. I think I shot you a note and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be great. You have Paco on the 1 and Irad Ortiz on the 7. And I'm assuming Paco's going to send on the 1 here on the rail. And you're going to have Irad Ortiz probably up there being very aggressive, I would say, trying to probably sit off and stalk. And I didn't necessarily think, when you look at both of these horses, like, I do think there are some other horses that could come into play here. But I thought this could get interesting with both those guys on the front end, knowing the history. Where did you land here? I was spread a little bit. I didn't love the 3, so I'm curious on your thoughts about the 3. But
so let me start with my thoughts on the 3, and then I'll tell you the horse that I like. Is this the race I told you I like a price here? So the 3 top E pick, top win percentage, be better than this last 2 times out. My info here says may not want a 1-turn mile. GSR says longer.
Yep.
The horse that I like at a price, my long shot play, is the 6, winner of 3 in a row, climbing the class ladder, tactical, winner on this track at a 1-turn mile, 2 back, may sit perfect trip.
Coming from David Jacobson, bringing back from back west out east too. I totally agree with you. Similar. It's funny. Notes are similar today. But yeah, self-isolation could really surprise here. I do agree.
I also like the 10 tied top SOR. Sprinter stretching back out. GSR doesn't seem to be a problem. His 1 on the track at the surface and distance needs to be close to the lead. Wide posts, so it's going to need a trip, is what I have on that. On IRAD, I have the IRAD horses. Sprinter also stretching out, either needs lead or needs to be pressing. GSR says added distance shouldn't be a problem. Best win came against 68 SOR. Attempts to step above that have not gone well, but ran a little better last time out, just couldn't pass the leader.
And this horse coming from Parks for this Robert Reed. Yeah. Nice trainer right up there. I mean, I guess I don't know that track at all, but I mean, it has 22% win. IRAD rides, I think, to Ken, to your point, he's going to be insanely aggressive. I actually am more excited probably to watch this race just because him and Paco are going to be up there, and I'm curious what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see if IRAD sends Paco over the rail. And who punches who first?
I mean, he's gonna be pressing and they're gonna be up there. And, I think Rosario's on the 10, who's gonna have to break well and, may get some scratches. So the 10 might be able to kind of work out a trip here and find a spot. I do think the 6, to your point, lightly raced, really could improve jumping up the class ladder. We didn't talk about the 8. I thought I actually agree from a long shot perspective here. Betsy Blue. I mean, he has hit the board, New York bred. Look at that. 16 out of 18 times with 8 firsts and 7 seconds. And it's not like, I mean, you don't always love seeing all those seconds, but 8 firsts, my guess is a lot of those came younger in his career because he's only had 3 wins in the last 8 races, but loves to hit the board. is in form, I would say. Won a 70 here, missed in a 74, but that was only 6.5 furlongs. Loscano's been riding the whole time. This is this horse's first time going, or second time going 8 furlongs. And I think this horse really could upset, especially with the potential that there's going to be a big pace here. That Loscano, who's I think just a great rider off the pace, could really surprise.
I will say the one thing I see on this horse is, well, recently there were a couple races where it didn't do this, but it seems to have had a stretch where it was just hanging and running second.
Yeah, you can see that here in this 70, right? At 7 furlongs at Belmont. And you can see here, my only comment on these would be this horse has been too close to the pace here. You're going to, I fully expect Loscano to take back to some extent here. That's why I kind of like the 8 furlongs, because the added distance here, I think, will be interesting for, this horse is classy enough to be able to beat these, in my opinion, and is going to get an extra furlong where whether he's hanging or just, may get a good pace setup, I would not be surprised to see this horse win. I will probably definitely bet this horse. That, to me, race 8 is a great vertical betting race because you potentially have the 8 and 6 who are prices that are going to run well, and if the 1 and 7 duel and they just can't, one of them doesn't hold on, you could end up with some prices that could win this race, or you could end up with prices that could be in all 3 spots in a trifecta.
Well, and I think the 3 is going to be involved in that pace scenario too.
Yeah, and if this horse can't run 2 churns or one churn, a 1 churn mile, like you and I talked about, you're going to get good value. I mean, it did run back here at Aqueduct one time. It did run and ran second in a 70. So, but definitely if you look at EquinEdge, though, look, I mean, at Aqueduct has raced well, and we can't see some of these races, but 2 of them were at 9 furlongs, and then at 8 furlongs, much less. But we don't.
You're at 0 minutes to post at Gulfstream.
Okay, we don't get to see, though, without jumping into the PPs or something, were those 8 furlongs 1 or 2 churns. Yeah. But all right, they're loading.
What do you guys have here?
Give me 1 sec.
And there goes my camera again. There we go. I got to close these blinds. I'm getting blinded by the sun here.
We are 1, 2, 3, 5.
Waiting for Gitana and Beyond Magic.
Three would be nice, or 5.
Beyond Magic and apprentice Angel Morales to the outside gate. They're at the post. And they're off. Picture perfect start. From between horses, Anna's Dream, ridden for the early advantage, with Gitana trying to go with her. Splitting horses, Divine Encounter into the top flight, and Adios Baby beaten for speed. She's now racing 4th. Down at the rail goes Foxy Lady ahead of Beyond Magic, and the gray Let's Be Honest is last as they go to the half-mile point. Anna's Dream and Lionel Reyes have the lead by 1.25 lengths. Gitana, the nearest pursuer, second. Up to 3rd goes Adios Baby. Up to 4th goes Foxy Lady. So the top 4 in the betting are the top 4 with 3 furlongs to go. Let's Be Honest bids up now on the outside, about 5 lengths off the pace setter ahead of Beyond Magic, and the trailer is Divine Encounter. 5/16 from home. Anna's Dream has the lead. Up on the outside, Adios Baby begins to close a bit of ground second. Gitana's now lost ground. She's 3rd. Also dropping back is Foxy Lady after only a brief bid through a 45-3 opening half mile. Off the turn in the stretch drive with the advantage. It's still Anna's Dream. She has 1/8 of a mile more to get. On the outside, Adios Baby. Toward the inside, Gitana. Then Let's Be Honest. But a nice job of riding here from Lionel Reyes, and Anna's Dream has enough in reserve. Anna's Dream for Safi Joseph Jr. goes gate to...
Well, I
Yeah.
that I'm guessing that is a female Anna's dream, but I thought that she might be a single, um, just because the 6 wasn't going to get the lead there and was going to be able to run off. Um, and then I obviously added the 3 and 5 or 1-3-5 for some prices. 1 didn't run well really at all there, but 5, I think we talked about 5. Yeah, the 5 was the long shot, and raced okay. Probably just this horse probably needs a little. Well, it's been dropping, I guess. So, did run okay, but the 2, Anna's Dream, she was much the best.
And we were absolutely right about the 6 with the 8-5 morning line that made no sense there.
Yeah. Scott, the 5 would have been nice, did run well, and Reyes had jumped off the 5 there, and Rios was riding. I was hoping that the 5 was going to have some horse there as they started heading into the turn, but couldn't get there. We have, let's see, so we have Del Mar in 20 minutes. Let's finish, Oldy, let's finish talking about this Aqueduct sequence, and we'll close this out, and then we'll flip to Del Mar, and then we can cover we'll cover Golden Gate shortly after that. So pick 5 stays alive. That's good. So I do think I do love having it's funny, I love having risky singles. To pause for a second, like I don't like having like risky singles in the last leg. I don't, but in other situations, I like it because, you get to make a decision and you then get your ticket to that decision. In the last leg, they're the worst because you always wish you had more horses. But I love risky singles just in general. But it'll be interesting here how much money the 1 horse takes at Gulfstream.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely interested to see how that leg plays out.
Yeah, it ended up a little bit, obviously, in race 2, it's been a little bit chalky, which I guess from the perspective of a carryover is not a bad thing. I guess I am glad, though, that I don't have the morning line favorites here and I'm spreading the last, but we'll see how the 1 races. If in chat, I'll be curious the betting on the 1, so keep me updated as we talk Aqueduct here. So Cigar Mile, Oldy. I know you like Aqueduct. I have not played it a lot this year. Historically, I have thought that Aqueduct has been an interesting kind of track. But race 9 tomorrow at the Big A, the Grade 1 Cigar Mile. You have Zandon, you have White Barrio, Obezo Scratch, which you told me I couldn't figure out why that horse actually was 99-1, but you had mentioned it, Scratch, which I thought might be the case. I struggled a little bit with this race, to be honest. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to hearing you talk through it. My probably main struggle was what to do with mind control. But who do you like best here?
So I like White Barrio best here. I think so. Top win percentage, second E pick, top pace. I believe the pace number is actually low here because they deliberately rated the horse and had him sit back in several races. But I think he put rates together, or not rates, but looks like he could get an easy lead here. Going a 1-turn mile, I think that's a perfect distance for him. This is the winner of the Holy Bull and the Florida Derby. I just really like this horse in the spot, and huge works too. Even going back to October 28th, where it was 1 of 55. So they're training for speed here. So I think there's 0% chance that White Barrio doesn't go. My second choice, so my note, I'm not using Zandon at all. My note on Zandon is top E pick, top GSR, second win percentage, all good things, right? Top E morning line of 3 to 5. And then my personal note is horse just always seems to miss and run second or third. Not sure her horse wants a 1-turn mile either. I know GSR says it does, but the horse only has 2 wins in 8 starts. Just always seems to not quite win, and I think needs more pace than is in this race. So that's me saying play against the 1-to-1 morning line favorite. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, getting back to White Barrio, I think I went all the way back here, to look at, knowing that White Barrio had come from Gulfstream, to see had White Barrio run 1-turn mile and did back here in a 66, very young. I guess that was probably maiden. That was probably a maiden win. Oh no, that must have broke. White Barrio must have. Yeah, he broke his maiden first out and then went straight to 8 furlongs, which I always think is interesting. 7 and 8 furlongs is a tough distance. It's one of the reasons why I do like Gulfstream, just because I think they have a lot that goes on at Gulfstream. I love that we always are able to cover Gulfstream because now you have the synthetic, it plays interesting. We have the turf finally coming back in this next race, which is awesome. But I really like that. And I think to your point with White Barrio, I think that this horse is, similar comment will be closer on the lead. Like, I think that Irad is sending. I think this horse has a great chance to go gate to wire, to be honest. On the flip side, then I'm like, okay, well, if something goes kind of amiss and for some reason we end up with like a fairly hot pace or something goes on, Zandon may get up. I think to your point, Zandon misses a lot. The only comment I would have is jumping to your question is, is getting to a 1-turn mile. I think to your point, we don't really know. Did win rating in breaking his maiden, but then immediately went to 2 turns in all of these races.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen here? The one thing I would say in a situation like this versus somebody who's on the lead going 1 turn that has that consistent having to go straight for a long period of time on the lead at like a high cruising speed, right? That Zandon will be able to sit back and may be able to like blast home in a situation like this. We just don't know, to be honest. I mean, did obviously rate back here in its maiden win, but I think Zandon is interesting from that perspective. Do I like this horse at even money? No, just because I don't love chalk in general. But my ticket, I was just 2-3. I took the 4 over the 7. So I'd be curious on your thoughts about the 4 and 7. I did think the 4 actually was rather interesting with Saez and then with Peter Miller. And I just really didn't know what to do with mind control. And so I only went 3 deep.
Yeah. So I only went 2 deep here. I didn't use the 4 at all. I think the 4 is more of a sprinter and kind of a middle of the road sprinter. I think this group's too good for the 4. So on mind control, so the 2 horses I'm using here are White Barrio and Mind Control. So Mind Control, I have older horse, can rate, likely to be sitting between White Barrio and Zandon. Might get a perfect trip. I think prefers 2 turns though. Can rate, but cannot drop too far behind. Now there is a possibility that White Barrio goes too fast and just stops, and the Mind Control could just pick up the pieces here as well. But from a class standpoint, I think that Mind Control, that mostly that this group might be a little bit better than a group that Mind Control typically beats. But that's factoring that the SOR is factoring a lot of Zandon in there, and Zandon wasn't winning those races, so I'm not sure I see this as an 80 SOR race.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, on the 4, I mean, not that this horse is lightly raced, but Gary Barber horse for Miller size. Miller ships here, and I don't know how shippers do from the west into the east coast, but he obviously saw potential here. I thought this was just very interesting. I love the Sias rides too. I think Louis is just a great jock. I mean, he's riding an Aqueduct here in this big race. Like, I'm just a big fan of him and Flavian Pratt. But my concern on mind control, which is where I just like decided to, go to the 4 over the 7 was, I mean, this is an older 6-year-old. And, you look back here last year, a year ago, and won at Parks and then went off this big layoff, right? Of
Mhm.
7, 8 months and has come back and was way too tough, right? Like you can clearly see that I'm guessing this is not the same horse that was before the layoff because comes back in 2 grade 1s and just like can't run and then does win a grade 3 76. Only a 5-horse field and had an easy lead. Well, I don't think there's any way that White Barrio is going to let mind control get an easy lead. And I'm like, well,
Right.
that's not going to happen. And then I go and I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. And then mind control into the Charlestown Classic, which was a 76, and really didn't run. And then I was like, okay, well, stalked in a Park 70 that was not even a graded stakes. And my comment was just like, how is ended up winning, but finished. I didn't get a chance to look at what happened here. So obviously there was a DQ, but I'm like, I mean, this was a 2-horse race, but in a 70. And I actually am leaning towards like, I really like White Barrio now because I just like,
Yeah.
I really dislike the 7 so much. But I do think that's where Zandon, and I can see why people like Zandon maybe quite a bit, or why it's such a short price, because you don't really know what's going to happen here with White Barrio and mind control. But that's where I just really start to dislike mind control because it's not the same horse. I don't think this race is going to set up well for him.
Well, I will say that at Charlestown, I'm tossing that race completely because that's 4 turns at 9 furlongs.
Yeah.
So, I have no interest in even considering that's just an oddball race. Um, the horse that I think is sneaky here that we're all leaving out is the 1 Double Crown, who won the Grade 2 Kelso at this on this track at this distance, going 1 turn mile, um, last time out at a 76 SOR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the E long shot as well.
I mean, pretty crazy. Acosta rides back, which obviously Acosta's been riding and comes back here. I mean, ran great there, only 13%. I mean, that would be my only comment there is we continually see a win percent decrease, which I wouldn't love, would be my only concern. But this horse really improved there, right? I mean, would have loved to have gotten 42 to 1 that day. But is EquinEdge long shot, to your point? Like, I think Zandon and White Barrio may be tough here. Like, I would probably put White Barrio on top. I think that this is a great race for him. Finally gets a bit of a different field. And I think that Irad will probably give a great ride. So,
Yeah. No, and I just think that Double Crown could be sneaky. The works are also nice here. And, at that price, if not, for on the win line, possibly in the exotics.
yeah, no, I agree. We have how much time we have 7 minutes till Del Mar. Let me hold on. I was gonna. Okay, that's my ticket. I'm singling a first time starter in the 4 with Pratt and leg 4. You're singling the 5 in leg 2. Top of my game, 27%. This will be a good little sequence. It's definitely one of the. I haven't loved a lot of the sequences, but I think this one will be interesting. Before we won't be able to tune in there, and then we got Gulfstream that we'll get to watch.
Yeah.
What's the single looking like? Oh, the single's 2-1. That's, I guess, EquinEdge morning line. Look at that. Probably going to float up though. I bet this horse will not go off at 6-5, maybe 3-1 or something. But we'll have to see. Big win percent. Let's talk last leg. And Oldy, if you have a ticket, feel free. I can pull it up too, just so we can share for the viewers and everything for tomorrow in the sequence. I think to others' point, going to be maybe weather play a factor. I actually thought this was kind of a tough race. I went 3 deep in 2-4-7. I think there is going to be a hot pace. I'm kind of calling a pace meltdown and want somebody off the pace or coming a little bit later, but would be curious on your thoughts on the last Aqueduct tomorrow, going 7 furlongs and starter allowance.
So I'm 2-4. I'm 2 through 6 here, and I think that most likely the 2 is going to sit a perfect trip here, or the 6, because of the speed in this race. If not, I think the 3 could just get away and win. And the 2 and the 4 can rate, so the 4 is dangerous as well, even though there's speed there. And so if you see why I spread, I'm all over the place even talking about it. So 2 is your top win percentage, top E pick. The 4 is your second win percentage and your second E pick. I would consider only using those 2 horses possibly here as well as an option. And I have a ticket put together where I spread here, but I may change that up a little bit. I like the works as well on the 4. You have that November 27th work where the horse was 1 of 135. So I think the horse may be sitting on a big race here.
Yeah, first time 7 furlongs, it would probably be my only concern, but I think to your point, this horse has shown it can rate. Does get a trainer switch as well. I don't think it was off the claim though. At least the system is insane. So I don't really know the story there, but I'm with you. I think the 4 is very interesting.
And I think the 3 is a horse that is a little class compromised here. Needs to be on or near the lead. Hasn't won at the higher SORs. The win it was at 40 and 46. Did run well though. And then the 6 coming from way off the pace needs a pace meltdown, I believe, but does have a win at 9 furlongs against a 60 SOR.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting sequence for sure. All right, we got 3 minutes till Del Mar. Let's jump back there for a minute. So first 3 races, 2-year-old races. We are both 1, 2, 4, 5 in the first the first leg. Looks like the Baffert or Pratt. We talked about Pratt with the Amato may be a runner. Both are 6-5, so going to be interesting on who goes off as the favorite.
Yeah.
Little Lily Poo is 44% with Ramon Vasquez. This horse is not getting any love. The top GSR 44% to win, and is going to have some pace. 2 second place finishes here at Del Mar and a bullet work. This is interesting. I mean, not getting any love at all, and the love's going to the big jock and Mr. Baffert.
Yeah, but that's not surprising either. I mean, that's pretty much what I would expect at Del Mar, especially when there's a Baffert there and there's Pratt running. And, have you seen the jockey colony for for Santa Anita.
Well, Frankie's coming over, right?
Pratt.
Is he gonna ride the whole?
Yep.
Oh, he is gonna stay. Interesting.
Johnny V.
I saw that. I did see that.
JJ obviously and Rispoli, and then I saw that the top jockey from Woodbine's coming in too.
Really? I had not heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be good to see. They open, what, day after Christmas?
Yep.
Yeah.
We were talking about maybe doing a special that day.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's we have a show, I think technically Christmas Eve, if the dates align, right?
23rd.
Oh, the 23rd. So it'd be 2 days, which will be nice. And then, yeah, and then Christmas is Sunday, so Monday's day after. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's also the opening to the Gulfstream Championship meet, and I believe it's also a big day at Fairgrounds. It's the opening of their Kentucky Derby. What do I want to call it? Their Kentucky Derby sequences, and I believe that's the Smarty Jones that day.
Yeah, big day. This we're running right into. I guess we're not in the stretch run yet. We're like just coming out of the gate right now. Is like big racing ahead. Love to see it. Lots of track changes, right? New tracks coming on. Some tracks will end their meet. Del Mar's ending. I'm guessing Woodbine is probably ending soon as well, right, Oldy?
Lose me here?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah, and you also have Oak Lawn coming online, and I'm surprised that none of those jockeys are going to Oak Lawn.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll be curious who ends up there. They're loaded at Santa Anita. We want to beat.
They're also loaded at Del Mar.
Or not at Del Mar, not Santa Anita. At Del Mar. The one in the one's gonna go off as the favorite versus the Baffert. They both broke well. The four is gonna get the lead though.
Yeah, I think that's gonna end up being a gift, and that the Baffert I think is going gate to wire here.
I don't know. The thing is here is these other, look at the 5 is running really nicely.
Running really well, yeah.
The 2, I have a feeling is not. We'll see, but I don't think this horse is going to rate. Flavian Hand is in hand, and I don't trust the Baffert here right now. The one looks like he's going to be loaded, but we'll see.
I don't know. The 2 looks like he's the one that has, if anybody has horse here.
I mean, the 2 is for sure coming. He dropped back. 5's done. Pratt's letting the 1 go. The 2 looks loaded.
Well, until Pratt crashes into him, almost there.
The 2's the only one that can beat the 4. The 1 is done. Come on, 2.
Come on, 2.
Beat the 4. It's gonna be close, but there we go.
Boom.
Beat the chalk. That is a boom. I like it.
I mean, third choice, even though it's 5-2.
Yeah, that's good though. That can, a lot of people may have gone a lot slimmer there. So we will see. You singled the 2, Scott. That, well done. I mean, I did play a little pick 3 with the 2 as a single. I did not single the 2 in the pick 5, but I did play my same ticket with the 2 as a single in a pick 3. Yeah, that's a good boom, Anthony. I mean, when we look at the 2, right, was just had the win percent to 44%, and just got no love off the morning line. The 1 and 4 took all the money. So All right, Gulfstream, my single, the favorite, which isn't, I guess, entirely surprising since EquinEdge's morning line was 6-5, 43% to win. Maybe we'll see something similar here, Oldy, with the win percent just being spot on to pick a race.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that was definitely impressive in that last race.
Outside of that, I mean, there's not a ton of other horse. Is anybody else taking money here? The 11 is interesting for value. 12-1, and EquinEdge has this horse as the second pick. In retrospect, I wish I would have singled in the last race to the 2, and then I would have probably went 3 or 4 deep here. But the 4 is taking no money, which EquinEdge kind of said. The 10, as a horse coming late on the turf with Chantel, is massive value, as well as the 2. Both these horses going to be closing. The 2, one last out on synthetic, gets an increase in GSR. Lightly raced will need pace. Luca Panici. Vasquez jumped to the 9, and then Chantel's riding the 10, who just has a big morning line angle. It's pretty insane when you look here, the value you're getting on these horses compared to horses like the 4 and 12.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that.
There's the 10 right now. For sure has the potential to run.
Let's see here.
They're heading on to the turf. The turf we haven't seen in, I don't know, a long time, Oldy. New turf course. New turf course, though. Looked beautiful.
Proof that you can do a new turf course,
right,
without destroying it.
Correct. I do agree with you there.
Throwing a little shade at another track company there.
I'm going to play a try with the 1 over the 2, 11, 12, and 10. I don't know how much this is actually.
I played a super box, 1, 4, 5, 11, 12.
I'm playing a 1 over a 2, 10, 11, 12 overall for $18. And then I played a little bit of a saver for like $6 where I put the 1 in second, but I'm going to stick with my win here. I'm going to fix my sound.
Yeah, I'm going to go on mute so that I don't echo.
Waiting for Frippet and Porcano. Porcano, jockey Abner Adorno to the outside. Ready on the turf. And they're off. Outside, Frippet and Porcano were quick into stride. Kahiko has speed. Now at the rail, Fastest Flight put into play early. Fastest Flight going on with Porcano in the run to the first turn. Kahiko will set up shop from third, and Frippet is outside fourth. Then back to Miss Bonnie T, mid-flight for Reyes with Ocean Safari on her outside. Sunny Leone has hold of Bramble Bay in the pink cap, racing about 8 lengths off an energetic early pace. It's a gap of another 2 lengths back to Empress Ellie. She has 3 behind her. They include Starship Nana, Good Fight, and the early trailer at Starship Enterprise. 23-2 for the opening quarter. Down the backstretch they go. Porcano trying to settle into a rhythm on the front end. She leads by 1.5 lengths over Fastest Flight, who's in a flanking position second. At the rail, Kahiko is now third from Frippet in fourth. Miss Bonnie T is at the rail fifth. And Ocean Safari moving behind her, Bramble Bay. Then Starship Enterprise improving on the outside. That's Empress Ellie alongside the Grey Good Fight, and still at the back is Starship Nana. Around the far turn they go. And Porcano continues to have the lead with Fastest Flight right alongside. Kahiko's had a good trip. She'll tip and roll from third. Frippin is there fourth. Miss Bonnie T and Bramble Bay are next, and they're at the top of the stretch. With the advantage, it's Fastest Flight taken on now by Kahiko, who moves up on the outside and powers forward. Eighth of a mile to go. Kahiko, off that good trip, is taken over the lead from Fastest Flight, then Miss Bonnie T and Bramble Bay. Kahiko's a winner. Kahiko in front. Fastest Flight second. Miss
Lame. Very lame.
Boo. Boo.
I agree. That's a bummer. Finished second. I mean, Julian obviously did the right thing there to send and not get shuffled back. The 9, I actually did not like the 9 at all.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, Kahiko was 5%. The morning line didn't like. It was off a big layoff. And ran well there, though. And has run well at 7.5. I mean, I don't know. My concern here was the big layoff. But obviously it was still a runner here in allowance company. But that's a bummer. Close, but
yeah,
not enough.
So do we want to talk Golden Gate, or do we have time here? Looks like we do.
Yeah, let's
really quickly.
I think, yeah, Cindy, we can try to do it real quick. I think Cindy, I saw that on the distance, and Chris, I mean, I thought the 12 would get used up there. So that's a bummer. That ticket was going along nicely. Never good to finish second. Okay. So Golden Gate, this I thought was a really interesting sequence.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I thought the 3 and 5 were my two picks here, Oldy. The 3 being top pace. I thought the 5 Coco Sense was a little bit interesting. It won last out in a 48, just kind of romped off the speed on the synthetic. The win percent increase has a big jump. What were your thoughts here on the first leg?
First leg, I was just 3-5 also.
Yeah. Well, cool. Let's just keep going since we only have 4 minutes.
We're a lot different in this next leg, though.
Yeah, and I haven't I handicapped all this, so let me see here. I thought the 6 being the top win percent was highly interesting. So big increase in win percent from 12% to 29%. Missed here in a 50. This is a 42. It's bred for the turf, I would say, is the one thing on the 6 horse for sure, but has run well on synthetic. The morning Ryan really likes. The thing about the 6, as you see here, is broke in the air, hop start, set the pace here, and went gate to wire. So obviously it was a good day. There is nowhere going to get the lead today. But then, again, here, Keen, Stockton faded, off slow. My question here with the pace, I'm like, is this horse actually going to get a pace to close into here and potentially win the race? Was my comment on the 6 is the top win percent. But what were your thoughts here?
So I used the 1, who I think is the speed of the speed, and I think the 2, 4, and 5 all need the lead but aren't fast enough. And then the 6 and the 3 I used here. And I think the 6 and 3 are going to have the pace they need to close into here.
Yeah, I mean, I have same comment. I don't like the 4 at all, actually.
Yeah, I hate the 4.
And the 2, the long shot, I mean, I don't know, it's going to be tough. Let's I'm curious what it does when I get rid of the 4. Oh, it wants to single the 6, which I think is kind of nice. That might be a ticket I play. We'll see. All right, next leg. I know we only have a few minutes here. I didn't land a ton on here. I thought the 3 as top pace was interesting. With Radke for Miranda. What this top EquinEdge pick? What were your thoughts here, Oldy?
I was 2 through 5 here. I thought this was a spread leg. I did not use the 1 because the SOR is a little misleading there. It had the last out, ran against 62s, but didn't run well. And I believe needs the lead. I agree with you. The 3 could go gate to wire there. The 2 can rate. The 4 can rate a little bit. And so can the 5.
Yeah, I think this race is definitely tough. I mean, I do think the 3 could be tough on the lead, but yeah. All right, let's head to the next. System wants to spread again. It has no 1 here. I thought the 3 and 4 were very interesting. The 3 win percent jumps up from 5% to 17. It won last out off the pace. There's a lot of speed here. But that was the 3. The 4 is the EquinEdge long shot. Good morning, line angle. Jonathan Wong and Ayuso. Where'd you land here?
I landed as 2 and then 3, 4.
Yeah, the system wants to spread a little bit, but I think that's an interesting race. So, all right, there. Let me.
Still got a minute here. It looks like.
Yeah, let me pull up. Let me pull up Golden Gate. All right, they're about there. So, and then the system here had 1, 3, 4, 6. One's burned a ton of money. I was 2, 3, 4, 6 probably here. I do not like the 1.
I mean, I am. It really depends on which version of the 3 shows up here. I'm 1, 3, 6, but the 3 has races where he's rated or she's rated, I should say, and also has been in against better and beaten better on the synthetic. If you go back to May 14th, that's a 70 SOR group that this horse beat. So the 3 is really interesting, and I think the 6 could sit a perfect trip if the 3 goes with the 1 rather than rating.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. The sequence is interesting. I think the first race, the 5 would be curious here if this horse is really 1 to 2. I think that it to me was a 2-horse race, and I think you felt the same way. So it'd be interesting to see here. So that's my ticket.
Do we lose?
Oldy, you want to give me yours real quick?
Yeah. So I am 3, 5.
Yep.
1, 3, 6. 2 through 5. 2, 3, 4.
Hold on. 2 through 5.
Yep.
Okay, and then
2 through 4 in the next leg. And then 1, 3, 6.
does that look right? 108.
Yep.
That's yours. That's mine. Both the same here. 3 and 5.
Yep.
Let me try to fix sound real quick.
Golden Gate Fields. Tropicana Girl asked for speed at 1. Shanghai missed up close to the
pace as well, stays on the fence. Tropicana Girl trying to clear off. Shanghai Mist concedes the lead. Tropicana Girl with a clear time of it into the clubhouse turn. Tropicana Girl is the pacemaker by a touch more than a length. Shanghai Mist off the rail now in the two path to press the issue, gets a little bit closer. Tropicana Girl only leads by a neck. Shanghai Mist on the throat latch, second pressing the issue. She's about 2 lengths clear of Coco Sense. Alicia to the inside, another length and a half to Philly Pelly, and Kitty Be Quick drops to the back of the pack, and she's 7 lengths behind Tropicana Girl with 5 furlongs to go. Paves the way and clears off once more. Opens up a length and a quarter, making a length and a half. Shanghai Mist content to track and sit off the loose leader approaching the half-mile pole. Alicia into third with a half-mile left. Stays on the rail, goes pretty decent. Coco Sense on the outside goes okay, and a good gallop too. Another 2 lengths to Philly Pelly. Kitty Be Quick still the trailer as they hit the forward turn run. Tropicana Girl into that turn maintains the lead of a length. Shanghai Mist a little bit closer. Coco Sense has come under a ride. She's third, 3 wide. Alicia saves ground around the turn.
Catch the
she tries to
here.
get into it. Philly Pelly next. Kitty Be Quick still the trailer as they hit the quarter pole. Tropicana Girl still in front. Shanghai Mist second. Coco Sense 3 deep. Philly Pelly launches a rally on the far outside. They all have to catch Tropicana Girl, who comes down the lane still clear. Here's a wall of challengers. Coco Sense finding her best stride. Alicia's coming up the fence. Here comes Alicia to take the lead, approaching the 16th pole. Coco Sense, Shanghai Mist battling, but they come to the line, and it's going to be Alicia with an inside run with Armando Ayuso. Second, Shanghai Mist. Coco Sense, Tropicana Girl faded to fourth.
Well, that's yeah, Scotty did. Scotty, $4,200. Yeah, that is no bueno. Let's go back.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one too.
Yeah, I mean, I said inconsistent fits here. So I'm not surprised to see that horse win.
Yeah, I see it too.
Probably if I like the 3 and 5 best, but the 2 is my only other horse. I guess this was the EquinEdge picks. Probably rushed a little bit, but that's not surprising. That's kind of a bummer, but I'm not surprised to see that horse win. I mean, second EquinEdge pick, Morning Line didn't like it all. This horse got no love, but if you look, I mean, 19 races, only had 2 wins, and it had not won in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for sure could fit here. It gets off of dirt, which had been on quite a bit, had raced much better on synthetic. If you look at the number and look at Golden Gate Field. So gets back to Golden Gate, you look at 2 turns here too. If you look at the past history here, the horse fit, so it's not surprising. The win percent jumped from 3 to 11, which showed that the horse obviously was going to be in much easier company. So
makes sense.
All right, we got how much time we got left, Oldy? I know
9 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 9 minutes. I have a work meeting, else I would hang around longer. But let's we have Del Mar. We'll watch this race right till Del Mar. Do we have 9 minutes or an hour and 9 minutes till we're done?
I think we have 9 minutes.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at my calendar real quick. So okay. But it's been fun. That was a bummer. I'm curious.
Actually, no, maybe I'm wrong.
Let me see.
I think we have an hour and 9 minutes.
Yeah, we can can hang around for a little bit. It's what time is it right now? Yeah, we still have a little bit more time. Yeah. So well, cool. We can. I'm gonna play. I think I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play this pick 4 ticket for $50 at Golden Gate. I'm gonna just do this real quick.
No worries.
We have Del Mar in 9 minutes. Let's jump there. I am curious what the Gulfstream pick 5 will pays are. They're not bad. Looks like minimum's about $500 and then 700 and then jumped up into the thousands. So good sequence. Let's look at Del Mar race 2. So you're singled here, if I remember correctly,
Correct.
to the 5. What I am 1, 3, 5, 6. The pace is going to be hot here. It really is, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's one of the reasons why the 5 was my single there.
There's a horse named Pittsburgh that races tomorrow. All right, so the 7 blinkers come off. Rispoli jumps on, going to show speed. Little brother Joey going to show speed. I mean, everybody's assuming that the pace is going to melt down here. The 1 is 4 to 5 currently. Wow, Flavian Pratt, Peter Miller. You know, this horse, Rich Gold, you know, is definitely bred for the dirt. You know, is not bred for the turf, but does get Flavian Pratt. Only 11%, though. The 3 is taking no money. Suburban Prince. Wow.
Well, that just moved around.
Say again?
I thought that. Oh no, you moved the organization.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean,
I was just switching back. I was getting rid of those tickets. So I think I'm 1, 3, 5, 6. You're single the 5. The 1's taking a ton of money. You know, the 3 is an interesting play, I guess. I mean, JJ Hernandez, you know, this horse did try to top EquinEdge pick, top win percent, did try to rate back here on the synthetic. You know, then went on the turf and wired the field easy and then was in way too tough. And I think that's the hard part about a lot of these horses, right?
mm-hmm.
The 6 or the 3, the 2, they're both coming out of these big turf races, you know, that were, so that the 2 is in the Speakeasy. The Zuma Beach, the 3 comes out of, which was a grade 3 race. But if you look here, you know, the 3 won a 50 on a maiden going on the turf 2 churns. You know, I guess the question is going to be, can this horse rate off the speed? The rail is out. So, but then the 1 and 5 are the 2 horses that are going to be picking up the pieces. Obviously why the 1's taking all the money.
Right. No, and that my thought is that the 5 is a better horse than the 1, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think the 5 definitely has been racing in 60s and finishing 4th. So for sure it needs to drop, was in a stakes and then tough allowance, gets a starter optional claim here, is up for a tag, where the 1 is not up for a tag, 3's up for a tag. Little brother Joey, the sneaky EquinEdge long shot, not up for a tag. Vasquez for Dan Blacker. But Rich Gold, you know, I think the question here, right, is this horse going to take to the turf? I mean, it's definitely going to have a pace setup with Pratt to chase into, but he just won a 40. And now going to drop into allowance optional company, which is, in my mind, is a tough task, but it may get a pace setup to make it a little bit easier. Looks like I'm showing about 3 minutes till post time.
I'm just doing a quick look at the Del Mar pick 6 on and doing some quick handicapping here.
I think yeah, no, go for it. I think Ken, you know, my comment there on the 3, I think this horse is interesting. I think it's getting overlooked. You know, they probably, you know, I don't know. I mean, they're giving up, I guess, but they're just willing to lose the horse for 50,000. I mean, it's probably the right spot. They have not raced in over 6 weeks, so they probably wanted a race. I mean, if you scratch this, right? I mean, just completely scratch the grade 3, who they obviously thought well enough to send in that race. I think is interesting. Chris, you like the 2. I would not be surprised. I mean, I think the 3 getting no love is being highly overlooked. I don't think that this horse is just going to stop. I would not. I in my opinion, I mean, off these big win percents, and wants to go turf and won easy here. Like, we don't really know what Suburban Prince can do. And I think potentially still has a really good shot to run well.
I took a quick look at that Del Mar pick 6 on Sunday. And I think that the single I would recommend would be Regal Glory. Not a hard one to find, so to speak. Who weirdly in race 7 is the E long shot rather than the first pick, but his top win percentage, top SOR, obviously multiple grade 1 winner, was facing boys in the Breeders' Cup and is going back to facing fillies. I think that this horse looks like the likely winner. My other option in that race would be the 5, who's the only speed there.
And that was on the
So that's Del Mar on Sunday. So 12-4, the closing day mandatory.
well, let's watch this race at Del Mar and then we'll
Yeah.
jump there. Okay. So you're singled to the 5 here. I'm 1, 3, 5, 6. I do think the 3 is going to run. I really do. They're loading. Wish we could show this race. It would make life a lot easier.
Yeah.
3's definitely looks wet, and I just saw that.
Yeah.
The 7, I don't know if the 7 is going to clear. It's for sure going to try. Yeah, 7 will clear easy. This is pretty quick. 23-1. The 6.
I mean, if this would be okay if it was a stakes race, like a high level stakes race, like a grade 2 or something like that. But that's pretty quick for this level.
Yeah, that 7 is running off. I mean, then runs 46 and almost 3. The Flavian is gonna get definitely a lot of pace to chase into. They're not gaining right now. I think the 3 is done. The 6 is definitely. I don't know if they're gonna catch this horse though. This horse is 8-10 lengths in front, man. I mean, he's definitely slowing down. The 6 is the EquinEdge long shot, but I don't. Well, the 1 might get there.
Pratt's got him. My 5 didn't run at all there. No, he's gone.
No, I think.
No.
Oh, am I behind? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 7 got it.
Ran him off their feet. Zookeeper. So the 6 didn't show any pace, and the 7 was able to just get the lead. Rispoli. Right. That was the horse that this was the maiden horse.
Of course.
Oh, that's funny. Somebody we talked about Ryan Hansen there, Zookeeper, with being a maiden. And I had said, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I mean, 52 SOR is similar to what you'd find in a maiden special weight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, from that standpoint, it's a good point, Oldy. I mean, had the crazy thing is here on the turf, the horse ran off and completely stopped in a 42. But I don't know. I guess just ran them off their feet. Is just all you can say. Let's jump to Gulfstream. We're not live, but we can. Let's talk this. Let's talk this last race.
Yeah, we both thought this was a wide open race.
Yeah, I thought that the 4-horse I liked, second time starter here for sure could improve, was the top GSR. The 5 is continually dropping in class. I mean, has been, gets Chantel here, I thought was a little bit interesting. The 6, I was all prices here, man. I mean, I think on my ticket, I had 4, 5, 6, maybe 10. I want everybody off the lead. But I think that I would not be surprised to see prices here. I really wouldn't. The speed does not stick a lot. The 3, you talked about the 2 being able to sit the trip potentially. Yeah. I think the 4, is up there. I would not be surprised to see the 6 or 10 win this race, though. Who'd you like best here, Oldy?
I like the 2. I also like the 4. Who's a second-time starter and getting a big jump in GSR as well. And at 12-1.
Yeah, I like the 4, 5, 6, 10. I do think the 2 maybe could run. But I would not be surprised to see prices. I really wouldn't.
Well, and I wonder, like the 9, didn't seem to really like the synthetic last time out.
Yeah, dropping in GSR.
Yeah, and, almost got there, but still, not a great group. Neither is this, but I think this group might be a little bit stronger. I think the 4 is going to run.
This is my trifecta. Four, 5, 6. Two, 4, 5, 6. I think the same. I think that's it. No. Where's the 5? 4, 5, 6, 10. 2, 4, 5. No, I don't love this ticket because it's kind of expensive. But I was trying to play something, but I would slim down in the beginning.
I think I'm going to single the 2 on top and then play 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. in the second and third legs, or places for the try.
That's my $30 try.
And I played a 15.
I like prices here. I really do. We'll see though. The 10. I mean the 10. I think the 10 could. The 10's 0 for 18. I think could potentially. This is the EquinEdge long shot too. Reyes, but oh, we'll see here in a second. Good luck, Lexi. I'm hoping for the 4 or 10 for you.
Working with Maria Zonner, who's now walked in, so there's 4 yet to come up. Ria Formosa stepping forward in her 3rd career try. The last 3 to go up. Sweet Brody, Stare If You Must, and Flat Out Cool. Nice card assembled for you here tomorrow in South Florida. We hope you'll join us for a Saturday, as we await Sweet Brody, Flat Out Cool to complete the line. Flat Out Cool and Jesus Rios take the outside gate. There, Imigate. And runners away. Ransom's Reward comes out firing and has rail position in the lead, with Maria Zonner on to challenge from second. Amore Moon's going to pocket up well down toward the inside. In the 2-path, Disco Queen was tightened up with Holiday Princess and Kilkenny Bella out wide. Ria Formosa's in the bright pink looking for some place to race. She has no alternative but to go 4 wide. 5 wide is Stare If You Must, then Bella Mayura. Outside and Sweet Brody. The early trailer is Flat Out Cool. And the run around the first turn, not much pace on here. 25-2 for a posted quarter speed. Ransom's Reward and Edwin Gonzalez, they lead by a length and a half. Maria's Honor is second. Kilkenny Bella is third. On the outside, Ria Formosa fourth. Fifth at the rail and Holiday Princess, then Stare If You Must. Amore Moon got shuffled back, well down toward the inside under Sunny Leone. She has room to move through, though. Then back to Sweet Brody and Disco Queen. Bella Mayura is second last, and the trailer is Flat Out Cool. The leader is Ransom's Reward. Up on the outside, Maria's Honor is there second. From a 3 wide, Kilkenny Bella third. Ria Formosa has been 4 wide on both turns. At the rail, Amore Moon driven, but not really gaining. From between horses and Holiday Princess, then back to Stare If You Must with Disco Queen and Flat Out Cool. Flat Out Cool warming to the task with 7 lengths to raise. And Maria's Honor, the new leader. Maria's Honor to the top of the stretch, leads now by a length and a half. From the outside, Ria Formosa is really not progressing. Kilkenny Bella is next. Amore Moon trying to launch into the clear, but Maria's Honor, she has the lead, and she leads now with 1/8 of a mile remaining by 3.5. From between horses, Kilkenny Bella, now loose and charging is Flat Out Cool. The favorites have been defeated. Maria's Honor very green, wandering about, but clear with no dangers. Maria's Honor and Edgar Perez, 11-1 winners. They won by 4 in the end. Bella Mayura was up for second. Kilkenny Bella third, closer fourth.
That's a boom, right? For Lexi. Very nice.
Boom, Lexi.
Boom, Lexi.
Still echoed.
Yeah, it should be good now.
Yeah, no, and that was the one, the second time starter with the huge GSR jump. You know, if I listen to myself.
Watch the trifecta here. This is why it's look at the 1 get up for second at 35-1. So you have an 11-1 over a 35-1
over 16.
Over 16-1. Yeah, I mean, just a huge trifecta. Yeah, no, I'm with you. You know, 4 was top. We both talked about it. It's kind of a bummer. I should have the ticket there didn't
Yeah.
didn't narrow enough. That's just bad betting, to be honest. Like you gotta. But go ahead, Oldie.
Yeah, I didn't. I told you I liked the only two I liked here were the 2 and the 4, and then I didn't play the 4. Look,
Yeah, that's
sometimes I need to listen to the words that come out of my mouth.
2800 Lexi. Nicely done. That's a nice ticket. It really is. Like 4 Maria's honored. I mean, top GSR, second time starter. You know, my comments were could improve. You know, it's that's nice. I'm glad that Lexi you hit there. That's a good ticket. I'm curious if the system. See, the one was I don't. The one was 5%. So awful breaker not running at this level was my comments, and did no horses. The 4 stayed on, but horses come off the lead in vertical bets all the time in these races.
Mhm.
They really do. For prices. So Golden Gates, the 6 horse, we talked a lot about this horse. I was gonna play this, my ticket. So the 6 horse is 7-2, you know, is the top win percent.
Yep.
I think has a big shot here. I really do. The 2 horse not taking any money. Remind me, Oldie, what did you like here?
I was 136, I believe.
Yeah. I think I kept mine up. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
136. Yep.
Yeah, that's yours. I think I think it was a $50 pick 4, but oh, I don't want it to do that. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 through 6. Yeah. Oh no, and then I don't like the 1 here. That was mine. Gonna have a lot of pace.
Yep.
You know, on the synthetic. Jonathan Wong has the 3. I thought was also interesting. Getting, you know, not Morning Line liked, but or Morning Line did not like, but the track Morning Line favorite. Oh, I guess the 4 was the favorite.
GSR didn't like it either.
Yeah. I mean, from a GSR, right? The 1 was the top GSR, but they're loading. Flip this. Whoops.
Rome after Bet on Blaze.
Can you hear all right, Oldie?
Bet on Blaze in.
Yes.
Okay.
Macho Chrome
that
about
try.
to come up now. There he is. Macho Chrome in the
2300
yellow
at
blinkers.
Gulfstream.
And to round out the group, Magic is the Moonlight. Magic is the Moonlight coming up to the gate. He's in. We're ready to go. And And we're off. Fun, eventful start for all the runners. Rickenbacker from the inside post, very quick and strides away early. Rickenbacker by 2 in the early part. Union Gig tracking from second. Macho Chrome right behind him in third, with Magic is the Moonlight a joint third. Bet on Blaze. Next Journey, the gray horse, he's the trailer. 6 lengths off Rickenbacker, a clear leader, very fast in the first quarter mile, and strides 2 1/4 lengths clear. Union Gig in chase mode second. Macho Chrome, Magic is the Moonlight. They run as a pair, and they're 3 ahead of Next Journey under a ride. Bet on Blaze also being asked to pick it up. Around the far turn, Rickenbacker has 5/16 to go. A 2-length leader approaching the quarter pole. Union Gig all in second. Macho Chrome makes a bid into the second position. Magic is the Moonlight left behind in fourth. They're off the turn. Rickenbacker down the lane is a 2-length cushion. Macho Chrome trying to wear him down in second. Outside,
Come
Magic
on,
is
6.
the Moonlight putting in a late rally. Coming to
Get
the
up,
16th
baby!
pole. Rickenbacker getting tired. Here's Magic is the Moonlight.
Get up!
Magic is the
Get
Moonlight.
up!
Surges past and draws away. Magic is the Moonlight to
Wow.
win by a length and a half. Union Gig.
You know, Oldy, did you see the price on the 6?
I did see that creep up to 7-1, but I didn't see it
7
so.
to 1. 7 to 1. I bet I did get a $20 win bet in. And I played that pick 4. 7 to 1. Wow.
Top pick or top win
Top-
percentage.
Top win percent. I mean, that was crazy. I ended up I think I got the I'm bummed that that I didn't have that pick, the 2 in the beginning of the pick 6, but I did play that back for $50 in the pick 4. But Lexi, kudos to you on hitting the Gulfstream. But Oldy, this, top win percent, gonna have pace to cut into. Ends up getting bet down, but floated all the way up to 7 to 1. And I would say, Cristobal Herrera, I mean, I thought that I wasn't sure what the 6, I thought might have been done there for a minute, but then was able to come on.
Well, and that's one of the cases. Normally we're cursing the late money coming in from the computer assisted wagering. But in that case, it played right into our hands.
Yeah, that's a boom, Scott. As we, that's where it's Oldy. It's kind of I guess in that situation, for me, I did the same thing. I singled the 1 at Gulfstream, didn't hit. Although, I was the same, win percent, a lot of the same angle. And for me, I try not to switch it up and just keep doing the same thing. So when situations like that happen, I can play the same ticket, and again, whether the horse is 8 to 1 or 12 to 1 or 2 to 1, to me, I just try to find, once you feel the confidence in it, to play the horse. But to get 7 to 1 there, that's pretty wild.
Agreed. I mean, I did not see 7 to 1 coming there. I played a try there and I missed the try. I missed the third place horse. So
I hope somebody played the 6 with me. I really do. Yeah, and Ken, they do pay 4 or 5. I will tell you, my ticket did pay 4 or 5 for $21. So they definitely do. And when you hit your tickets, it can actually be nice. You can get hundreds of extra dollars sometimes on those tickets. But yeah, that was pretty wild, Oldy. Really was. To get 7 to 1 on that 6 horse there.
Definitely. I mean, 7 to 1's crazy on that. How often do you get a 29% horse go off at 7 to 1?
No, I mean, we talked about that race earlier. I know we went kind of quick, but there was a huge potential. I mean, I singled that horse in my pick 5. I mean, paid $16. Wow. Not and then that $50 pick 4. I mean, this thing will pay as long as I can get this home. It will pay okay. I tossed the favorite in that last race.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if it costs me, but it'll be a nice little ticket. Again, kicking myself for not playing the 2 in the first race, but so we have Del Mar race 3. We got Oldy, probably about 20, 30 minutes left. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I'm glad that Tim, nice, man. You played the 6. He didn't have the guts to do more. That's okay, man. I'm glad that you hit the winner there in place though, too. Cho doesn't usually play that much, but what the exacta pay? 22-1. Wow.
Yeah, it's not bad. We knew that 4, which at 8-5 wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Mm-hmm. And the 1 just stopped. I mean, top pace, back to synthetic, but and we didn't talk a ton, but I remember I'm like a 26. I mean, this is just wild. Yeah. I mean, that's to me, anytime you hear cheap speed, that's what I think of cheap speed, right? Oldy, when a horse gets out multiple lengths, 3-4 lengths, gets an easy lead and completely stops, right? Did hit the board. Oh, I get 4th place, I guess.
But I think that was what I was thinking was going to happen with the 9 at Gulfstream.
Yeah.
Same type of cheap speed. And the one time it burns me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I hope somebody at least played the pick 4 with me. If not, we'll see what happens. So we are both not alive at Del Mar. Let's jump over there though. Race 3.
We still have that stakes race you wanted to talk about at Golden Gate tomorrow too.
Yeah, let's so we have Del Mar and then we have 20 minutes till Golden Gate. So we'll talk Del Mar here and then we'll do stakes race at Golden Gate tomorrow and then we'll cover the third race at Golden Gate and then we'll close it up. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I thought this was a bit of a tough race. We talked a little bit about this. I mean, the 6 is even money right now. Which isn't, I mean, I guess entirely surprising with Flavian Pratt for Peter Miller. The 2 is getting no love, Vasquez, and this is what Doug O'Neill's assistant trainer, Oldy.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
I mean, it's the top pace here. Didn't run great first out, but takes a big drop. Ramon Vasquez jumps aboard. I mean, should this horse be even money? Probably not. Should this horse be 4-1? Probably not. But I don't know. I mean, the 2 horse to me would be the play just because I don't want to bet 4-5 chalk ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there anything we can really, I mean, GSR plus isn't gonna, I mean, this horse can sprint. I mean, had a work raced about 3 weeks ago. Works are nothing entirely interesting. Didn't run in a 40 on the dirt going 2 turns, but did show pace. I mean, the 2. I mean, I guess the 6 could potentially wire the field, but the 2. That my concern on the 6, Oldy, is going to be, if this horse doesn't get the lead, isn't it going to stop?
I think so. I mean, that's what it's done. I mean, it definitely doesn't have any kick. Drifted in the first turn, duel. So it didn't get the lead in this in that last race, and it did duel on the lead. So it's not just going to give up, but I don't think it's going to be a factor if that happens. But, you know, just in general, this group is awful.
I mean, to
Like-
me, this is if I played I don't remember what my pick
The one just scratched, by the way.
at Del Mar. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably play. This would probably be. This
And the 3, the first time starter, is taking some money.
yeah, that would be my $15 pick 3 is to just spread here. My main just being that just because if I stuck with my single, I think anybody could win this race, to be honest. I don't know why this horse is 3 to 5. I really don't.
Anything in the works, maybe?
No,
the
I
works are
mean,
nothing special.
I think you're just getting Flavian. You're getting, I mean, it's not like you're getting a drop. I mean, drifted into the first, dueled. I mean, I don't know. I would never bet this horse.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what
The
about the 6 makes you think it's going to run better than the 8?
Yeah, I mean, if the 2 doesn't win, I don't know why the 6 is going to win. I mean, this could set up easily for the EquinEdge long shot. I mean, it could set up the 8 is dropping big in class. The 3 is a first time starter. I know they're walking to the gate, but I just don't. I don't see any reason to take this horse at 4 to 5, but I could be wrong for Peter Miller. I mean, it was in a claim. They continually the drop. Not much of a difference in SOR though, just probably because a lot of these horses are dropping. So that would be why it views this as a very competitive, tough race from an SOR perspective. A big win percentage.
But a lot of these horses have dropped already and didn't run when they dropped.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I mean, the 6 is getting the big win percent increase, which obviously justifies the morning line favorite, but not a less than even money horse, in my opinion, on a 32,000 maiden claimer.
It's interesting that the Twin Spires top pick, by the way, is the 8.
I mean,
you get the bug, the weight advantage there, the huge drop.
I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 5-3-8 in the 2 and 6 stop or something.
Yeah, I just think the pace setup too might be perfect for the 5 or the 8.
The 6, they're having to open the gate to load the 6 too.
Well, let's hope that yes, it's acting up more.
I'm gonna bet this horse doesn't even hit the board. A 2, 3, 5, 8 try box for $12.
And it looks like the late money's coming in on the 2 right now. No, maybe not. Just I don't know.
The 2's the one definitely is gonna float back up. They're about to go. It's a fire sale, Scott. Yeah, I agree. I'm rocking Ray. I like the 5-3-8 bet. I played a 2-3-5-8 try box that the 6 wouldn't hit the board.
6 did not get the lead.
Yeah, that horse is gonna have to try to rate. Somehow the 4 at 50-1 is leading the race, which is surprising. The 2's gonna struggle. The 6 is Pratt's gonna rate the horse. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
He's running
rate.
like he might have horse though.
The 8's loaded, but
Might be too far back though, and too wide. We'll see here when he hits the stretch. Yeah, the 3's floating the 8 really wide.
come on, beat the 6.
Oh, he's coming. Come on, 8. Get up. Get up.
2-8, 8-2, man. Get up, 3. Beat
Boom.
the 6. Beat the 6.
Beat this. Nope. 6 is going to hang on. You almost got it, but it wouldn't hit the board.
Wow.
Boom. The 8's a bad actor, but a good horse, Catherine.
Yeah. Oh, I needed the 8 there at 8-1 over the 2 over the 3 would have been nice for the 6 to not hit the board.
I just threw $10 on the 8 there.
Yeah, no, good bet though. I mean, we talked about that the 6, that's a playable favorite all day. Yeah, Bill, the 8 did. Top Gun Classic. I mean, those are I don't know if Tim is still here, but we were talking through that last weekend in the coaching class, Oldy, of trying to identify beatable favorites, but it's how you bet them, right? So, I think I did play an exacta too, but that's not going to pay very much. The try would have been nice to get the 6 out of there, but that to me was a beatable favorite all day.
Yep. Well, maybe we should get the coach to do a coaching class, and then it would be coach coaching.
Yeah.
And by the coach, I mean Stephen Guerin, who many of you know.
For sure. The apprentice there, I mean, was able to sit back, pace duel. Two still ran a good race, but.
And that's even with the 3 floating the 8 way, way wide around the turn too. The 8 was so much the best there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But also thank you for the 6 horses that tried to go at the beginning of that race.
Tim, I didn't, Tim, I just missed the try, so I can't say I bet it right, but I think the bet there, Oldy, is just like finding the horse. I think is make a decision, probably, right? And is it the 8? Is it the 8 and 2 or something? But try to put yourself in a position to not have to spend a lot and make a decision. And good job, Scott. I think I did bet the pick 3 into my single too. So 7-1. That's good. $17 horse.
This pick 5 is going to pay with that 5-1 7 in the last, and now this 7-1. It's going to pay really nice.
Yeah. 2 winning in the first leg there, as the win percent. Then the 8 beating there. The 4 looks like it's opening up as the favorite. Chief Counsel, the first time starter. Daniel, it's been okay. Nice, Scott. $130 pick 3 is that for 50 cents? Probably, I would guess 260-1.
Yeah.
That's nicely done.
Well done indeed.
So in my pick 4, we started off 7-1, and now all but 1. Never a good idea, but still did it. I'm 1 through 5.
I do it all the time. I don't like even if you think it's an all, if you think there's one horse that doesn't have a chance, you shouldn't play the one horse that doesn't have a chance,
Yeah, I'm with you. I do agree. My girlfriend's laughing as she heard that. All right. So I was 1 through 5 here. This will be our last race. So 3-2. You think, Ray, the money will hold favorite on the 3, Madame Gazelle? The problem is this race looks wide open from a win percent perspective. Steve Sherman has 2 horses. Both are prices, but both the morning line loves, which is interesting. And the 1 and 2 horse, both in the EquinEdge picks. 2-year-old fillies. They all have 1, but they're all in a claiming race, which 16,000. The 1 horse is EquinEdge long shot, won in a 42 SOR and has been in 2 tough. I mean, you look here, ran 4th in a 62 and gets the drop down in class. I mean, this 1 to me is a player, Oldy.
No, I agree. I like the 1 there too, possibly. I think I was 2 through 6 here. I think the 1's the 1 I left off.
Yeah, the 3 is going to get
5. Sorry.
Yeah, you were 2 through 5. I'm 1 through 5. The 3 horses, taking all the money is the pace. Good job, Scott. Used to the trainer, singled in race 1. Yeah, that's singled using that win percent. That's nice job. Very well done.
Do we want to talk about that the race 8 at Golden Gate tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do it. So tomorrow we'll cover this stakes race for 2-year-olds. So tomorrow at Golden Gate, the 8th race is the Gold Rush Stakes. It's non-graded, but for 2-year-olds, and everybody in here is 1, so no maidens. Quite a few horses that have won twice, and even a 3-time winner in the 6, who is the morning line favorite. The system says, okay, but only 5% to win. Oldy, I actually landed on 1 horse here. I think that there's going to be an insanely hot pace going 2 turns on the synthetic. And I don't play Golden Gate a ton, but I have been playing more. Where did you land here on your thoughts?
So, all right. So, let me go through the obvious ones first. The 1, the top E pick, top pace, second win percentage, beat slightly better last time out. GSR, big question on getting the distance, dropped 6 points. So may not want the distance. The 10 top win percentage, second E pick, top SOR, appears to be a horse that wants synthetic. Though 7.5 and 8.5 are good in GSR plus, it does drop for 8. So I'm just pointing out that just may be a function of small sample size. The 4, the long shot, might sit a perfect trip, though appears to do its best running on the dirt on the lead, and seems to hang when he doesn't get the lead. The 6, who you mentioned, could also sit a perfect trip, beat similar on dirt. I think more of a dirt horse than a synthetic horse, though, in terms of when the horses run well. But we'll see. Also, I don't know that the horse wants the distance either. And then the 3 I thought was super, super sneaky. I don't know if that was your long shot or the next one that I'm going to bring up. So the 3's won the last 2 races, beat similar last time out at Golden Gate at this distance. Climbing the class ladder a little bit, but not a huge climb here. I think that this horse is really dangerous. And then my pick is OB's, the 8. I think that this horse will sit the perfect trip. For those Chicagoans here. It reminds me of Ed Obradovich, the former Bear. In terms of the name, I put some notes in here about that, but easy winner last time out against much easier at surface and distance. You know, is going to be sitting off what could be a pretty hot pace. So that was the horse that I liked at it. Well, 9-2 morning line, but I have a feeling will float up to around 8 to 10 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, so here was how I looked at this race. Is so I looked at the pace was the first thing I did, and I said, well, 1 and 5 are just insanely fast. So smoking hot is going to be smoking hot. I mean, I don't with Pena and Jonathan Wong, like this horse is going to go. The 1 is also fast, right? And this is the top pick for EquinEdge. Radke's riding for Blaine, right? I think the interesting thing here is that this horse, when you look at the GSR, right, it's dropping. So, I mean, it can maybe go 2 turns. You have this like weird anomaly here, but I don't love this horse, even with the morning line, like at all. So I think you're going to sit an insanely hot, tough pace. When you look at Chucking Up Bay, like you spoke to this, Oldy. I mean, this horse has 4 second place finishes, so when I look here, I don't love this because why? And a lot of people hear me say this, but like, what are you doing for me lately? Well, you just you like to finish in second place 4 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's potential, right? And I'll talk about, like, I know you like speaking to the 8. So let's talk about Wound Up, though, because I think if you go and you look from a pace perspective in the horses, you look at Wound Up, who's the second EquinEdge pick, 37% to win, only raced 4 times, 1 win. You have Mario Gutierrez, who's riding, right, from McCarthy. So when you look in here, you say, okay, well, you won, on the turf. And then you've been facing insanely tough. I mean, this horse raced in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile just a few weeks ago. So, this horse, I would say, is going to be, my opinion, it's a Mendelssohn, right? But I think this horse is going to be insanely tough. I really do. I think that, even though it's on the synthetic, so when you look here, I mean, this horse wants to go 2 turns. I mean, this, you don't ship a horse to Keeneland here, right? If the horse isn't, I mean, it ran 9th, right, of a 10-horse field.
Right.
But like, this isn't even, I mean, this is just a $70,000 stakes race. I mean, it's almost like you're, again, then shipping into a grade 1 after running well in the speakeasy. I didn't look at this race, but broke slow, was blocked, altered. Like, I think this horse is going to be insanely tough. I really do, because I'm assuming this was troubled. I don't even care about this race. And again, like, I think that this horse, the question is going to be, can it rate? I mean, I think this was probably a really troubled trip here. The horse is 37%. It's definitely coming from some of the classiest races. Before
if they're loading.
Yeah. But that would be my pick. I was taking the 10 here. Once I looked through this race and saw this, I think that this horse is this is the race for Wound Up. So in my pick 4, I'm 1 through 5, I think. Yep. No 6.
Hold on, Justin, I got an emergency, so I'm gonna have to walk away for a sec.
You're good.
Waiting for Lady Attitude. Goes in now, Lady Attitude. We're ready to go. And we're off. Lady Attitude gets the first call. Miami Lady a little bit sluggish coming out of there and spots the field about 4 lengths in the early stages. A battle for the lead here on the inside. Danzig Starstorm, she's got a share of it. Madame Gazelle up close. Yodorando on a hold, taken back to third down the backside. And Danzig Starstorm has her head in front of Madame Gazelle. Yodorando 3 deep. Farther out, Lady Attitude 4 wide, approaching the forward turn run right off the pace. And a space of 2 to Miami Lady. Slips inside of Love Lost. Love Lost drops to the back as they round the far turn. Miami Lady making an early bid here on the inside, moving up to challenge the leaders approaching the quarter pole. Danzig Starstorm still there up top. Yodorando's right there. Madame Gazelle is dropped back to 5th under pressure. Miami Lady tries to continue a sustained run on the inside, and Lady Attitude on the far outside. Down the stretch here, Yodorando, Danzig Starstorm right together. Miami Lady still coming with a run. Yodorando with the head in front. Miami Lady second on the inside, trying to fight back. Yodorando still on top. Career win number 500 for Larry and Marianne Williams right there.
Well, it came 5-1-2. So for my pick 4, probably one of the best case scenarios. I don't know what the what was the morning line on the 5. Oh, the 5, that was the favorite. Wow, maybe not. I have no idea then. I guess in Will Pay's, the pick 3 was definitely not the favorite. So
Sorry, my son's at college and apparently having an allergic reaction to something, so I had to just make sure he got the right pills out for that. So
no, you're good, Oldy. I think the 5 ended up winning there. It was kind of a wide open race, but I think in the chat, Scott, you'd say why race at Golden Gate? I don't know. I mean, maybe they just want a stakes win. Would be just my opinion on that. The race for tomorrow is what I'm assuming you were talking about. Like, you know, they obviously felt like, wow, like this horse should go to the Breeders' Cup. I mean, but, you know, way over its head. I mean, this was ran well in the stakes race, but had a really troubled trip. I we'll have to wait and see, but,
Justin, my only thought on that horse is that I think that horse might need the lead.
Yeah, I mean, from here to your point, I mean, one on the lead and, really here struggled, right? Didn't get the lead in a 14-horse field. But that's a grade 3. I mean, the problem is this horse has just been in way tougher.
That was a really weak grade 3. I mean, same SOR as this race.
Correct. Yeah, I do agree with you there. Like I do. And didn't run and didn't get the lead to your point. So, yeah, I mean, if we talk a little bit through this as we close the show, Chase the Chaos, is not any, as a long shot is for sure a player. I mean, is only 3%, but, did run well in a 66 and ran well first out and ran well second at Canterbury. So, this horse is definitely a turf horse, but is for sure, potential. I think your play of the 8's good though, Oldy. I mean, I don't disagree that any of these horses, Happy Does, It's Thievery, any of these horses could come off the speed, right? I mean, they really could. There's going to be a hot pace if the one can't wire the field.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And Daniel, thank you for that. But he should be okay that this happens. We were prepared for it. I would not be back on if I was concerned at all. So it should be all good.
Well, we're ready to close up anyways, Oldie, so you can go check on him. But it was a pleasure.
He's in Florida, not much I can do other than him taking his Benadryl. So
yeah. Well, keep me updated. I'll talk to you offline. But it was a pleasure all. I know we had a couple winners there at the end, and the 8 at Del Mar beating the favorite, and the 6 at Golden Gate. Horizontal bets didn't get through, although maybe this pick 4 will get through. Oldie, a 4 to 1 shot won that second or the third leg, but second leg of the pick 4.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to pay a few hundred. And I want to say congratulations to Lexi also on her great hit.
Yeah, $2,800 to that 4-horse at Gulfstream
Yeah.
Park. That was a nice ticket she put together.
Definitely. Definitely. She's a great handicapper.
All right, thanks,
All right.
John, Jotham, Scott, everybody else for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Good luck if playing Aqueduct tomorrow, even in the wet. Pick 6 mandatory at Del Mar on Sunday.
Yep.
Lots of I know great racing this weekend. I do not know if Scotty's doing a show, but I'm doing a coaching class tomorrow, I think at 11 a.m. Feel free to sign up on the EquinEdge homepage if anybody wants to join. It's always fun. We talk racing. But Oldy, any final thoughts?
I'm just going to say to the community, anybody who wants to talk horses or anything else, hit me up on Twitter and, let's start a string and let's start talking about it.
Sounds good. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Happy Friday.
Thanks, everybody.
Into the weekend. Enjoy. Stay safe. Oldy, have a good weekend, buddy. I'll
Have a
talk
great
to you
weekend.
soon. Okay.
All right. Talk
Bye.
to you.